Chapter 101. While the Yamen runner was deep in thought, Zhou Qiong was also sighing at the power of Zhongjia Zhuangzi. This was great. Sanshui County would definitely be classified as a disaster area. If the average output of Sanshui County was reduced by 40%, all taxes would be exempted. If the average output of Sanshui County was reduced by 60%, the tax would also be exempted. If the average output of Sanshui County was reduced by 70%, they would not even have to serve as laborers. Looking at the situation, Sanshui County's output would be reduced by at least 50% this year. If County Magistrate Cheng and Zhou Qiong did something, they would not be able to collect taxes this year. However, they still had to serve as laborers. It was impossible for them to reduce the output by 70%. In that case, they would help to fix the river in front of them. After all, it was their own river. If others did not let them, they would fix it themselves. Now that they were free, they were free. Other places were really affected by disasters, but here nothing happened. Gu family's paddy field in Zhuangzi was already like this. Zhang family and Wang family's paddy field should be better than this. Zhou Qiong admired them from the bottom of his heart. At this time, when he saw the things in the hands of the person who was picking things out of the paddy field, he was stunned. What's going on? Why did you pull out the seedlings in the paddy field? Zhou Qiong pointed at the seedlings in the hands of the farmer and asked. The Yamen runner did not know, so he called someone to ask. The farmer recognized the uniform of the Yamen runner, but did not know that Zhou Qiong was wearing civilian clothes. Seeing that Zhou Qiong was asking about this, he smiled and spread out his hands to show the three of them the seedlings in his hands. He said, "It's nothing. There was a strong wind yesterday and many seedlings were blown away. Some were broken, some were picked out and thrown away. It's useless." Zhou Qiong looked at the farmer and frowned. He asked, "Then why are you not worried? Are you hoping to reduce the output and wait for the imperial court to exempt you from taxes? You are really too much. Why are you worrying about nothing? What does reducing the output have to do with you? The imperial court is your family." When the farmer heard this, he was unwilling to accept it. The Yamen runner coughed and gave the farmer a look. When the farmer saw the expression in the Yamen runner's eyes, he suddenly understood that this was an official who had come to visit in disguise. His previous arrogant appearance disappeared and he cautiously replied, "Yes, I don't know. Everyone is actually not in a hurry. The main family has already gotten new rice seedlings from the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi. In another 2 days we can replant without any delay. Even though it's a few days late, when the autumn harvest comes, there will be more grain than before. If it weren't for the main family not being able to afford so many seeds, I really want to uproot all the rice seedlings and wait for the new seedlings." Oh, so the Miao family of the Zhang family and the Wang family are very good. Zhou Qiong was even more puzzled. Usually replanting was a last resort. He did not expect that the Gu family's Zhuangzi farmers were actually looking forward to it. The farmer threw away the rice seedlings in his hand and pointed in the direction of the Zhang family and the Wang family. He stared and said, "It's not good, it's godly. Yesterday the wind was so strong, but they all came over to help us plant the seedlings. Guess what happened? Those two families' seedlings were like little calves. When the wind came, our seedlings fell one by one. They just shook their heads and passed by." "Really? Okay, you go do your work. I'll go take a look over there later." Zhou Qiong thought that the farmer was talking nonsense and did not continue to ask. He first went to take a look at the fields and found that there were indeed many fallen seedlings. The wind yesterday had made the disaster worse. After taking a look, he continued to walk forward with his nephew and the Yamen runner. After a while, they reached the small bridge and saw the people building the houses below. He turned around and glanced at the Yamen runner. The Yamen runner quickly said, "They are going to build a restaurant here. The three families of Zhuangzi will pay together. When the construction is finished, they can drink and eat on the water." Good plan. We can take advantage of the fact that there is no water now. Zhou Qiong responded and continued to walk forward. After crossing the small bridge and seeing the Wang family seedlings in the Zhuangzi fields, Zhou Qiong stopped again and pointed at the seedlings. How is this possible? Why are the seedlings here so much thicker and taller than the ones over there? Could it be that they were planted in advance? Sir, it's impossible that they were planted in advance. Otherwise they would have frozen to death. These seedlings can only be said to be planted well or chosen well. Sir, look, there aren't many footprints in the fields. This means that the seedlings were not blown over by yesterday's wind. The Yamen runner was not very clear about farming, but he knew that it was necessary to judge from certain aspects when handling cases. Zhou Qiong looked at the fields and frowned again. Why were they planted so casually? The Gu family's Zhuangzi fields were lined up neatly. Could it be that the Zhang family and Wang family's Zhuangzi farmers were trying to fool the main family? He did not believe that the main family of the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi would be so clumsy as to let people throw the seedlings into the fields so that they could catch someone who was deliberately causing trouble for the two families. Hey! You over there, what are you shouting for? Say it clearly, who is fooling the main family? You don't know anything and you're just spouting nonsense. Zhou Qiong's voice was a little louder, so a few people over there heard him. They immediately walked over and criticized Zhou Qiong. You are? Zhou Qiong looked at them and asked. We are the farmers of the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi. We were just established to guard the fields. We are called the Vigorous Seedling Protection Team. I am the team leader and these are the team members. You are slandering the farmers of the Zhang family and Wang family. This person walked in front of Zhou Qiong, puffed out his chest, pointed at himself, and pointed at the people beside him, and said proudly, The Yamen runner coughed again and said at the same time, This is an official from above. So that's how it is. An official can slander others as he pleases. The main family said that the Vigorous Seedling Protection Team is only responsible for the main family and does not care about the others. This is called military orders are like mountains. If you are an official, you can talk to the official. We will listen to the orders of the main family. This person did not care at all. Wang Wan had chosen him because of his character. She treated the Seedling Protection Team as a military unit. No matter what happened, they could not show weakness. Even if they caused trouble, the main family would take responsibility. If they took a step forward, even if it was a mountain of knives and a sea of fire, if they took a step back, how could they care about gold, silver and treasures? This person understood Wang Wan's spirit and did not give in at all, even if he knew that the Yamen runner was standing beside him and that the person in front of him was not an ordinary person. Haha, so you are saying that the main family arranged for you to plant the fields like this? Zhou Qiong asked again. Course. Do you think that we are all fools who don't know how to transplant seedlings? This is called throwing seedlings. The main family decided it. At first we didn't believe it, but since the main family said so, we followed it. Now we know. When the wind blows, the seedling transplanter falls, but the seedling thrower is still standing here. The main family is amazing. This person was still so arrogant. He looked straight into Zhou Qiong's eyes and said word by word. Good, as expected of the Zhang family's manor. It lives up to its reputation. Even a mere manor owner has such integrity, not to mention the main family. What an impressive governance method, to actually be able to make the manor owner and the main family of one heart, not fearing power. Zhou Qiong was not angry. Instead he felt excited. An army was just like that. A soldier who bowed to an outsider was not a soldier, but a coward. From the farmer, he knew the main family's way of doing things. It must be the two masters, otherwise how could it be like this? Thinking of this, Zhou Qiong continued to ask, Is it because the main family is too strict and has a way of governing people? Who knew that when these people heard this, their faces immediately darkened? The captain glared at the Yamen runner and said to Zhou Qiong, You are measuring the heart of a gentleman with the yardstick of a villain. Is it strict to build a house? Is it strict to make clothes? Is it strict to give lanterns? Here. This person told the benefits given by the main family from beginning to end, but he did not say how the main family grew cucumbers. Zhou Qiong was stunned. He had never seen such a farmer. It was too arrogant. He did not feel like a farmer. It was more like he was the master of some family. The yamen runner at the side was anxious at this time. He was afraid that the captain would be unhappy, so he could only say, "Do you know who this is? He is older than your county magistrate. Why don't you speak honestly?" "So what if he is older than the county magistrate? What do you mean by speaking honestly? I don't understand. I only know that if I weaken the prestige of the seedling protection team, I will not be able to face the main family when I go back. The main family has chosen me to be the captain. I will support the main family even if I die." This person's arrogance came up. He did not care who he was facing. The other farmers who followed him did not show any signs of backing down. It's okay. Let's not talk about this. Please report that young Master Zhou and his nephew are here and want to see the main family." Zhou Qiong had nothing to say about this. The Zhang family and Wang family actually took care of the basic necessities of the farmers in Zhuangzi. It was no wonder that they worked so hard. When the captain heard this, he quickly bowed. "So it is young Master Zhou and Lord Zhou. I did not know and offended you. I will report it now. When the time comes, I will personally ask for punishment. The main family has instructed that as long as young Master Zhou and Lord Zhou are here, we must not neglect them. I will go first. You all serve young Master Zhou and Lord Zhou well." After the captain finished speaking, he ran towards the main courtyard of Zhangjia Zhuangzi. On the way he almost fell. The others stood directly in the water and held out their hands to prevent Zhou Qiong and the others from accidentally falling into the water. Zhou Qiong, Zhou Shihu, and the yamen runner were all stunned. This contrast was too big. When they mentioned their identity, the other party did not care at all. When they mentioned young Master Zhou and his nephew, they jumped into the water. If they lost face just now, the other party had given them enough face at this moment. At this time, Zhou Shihu was arrogant. He raised his head and said to his uncle, "Uncle, how is it? Just from hearing your name, Xiao, who is promising. You are even better than me, a 6th-rank official. In the future, the Zhou family will rely on you." Zhou Qiong was happy. Using the identity of Zhou Shihu's uncle to receive such treatment, but using the identity of an official was another matter. This meant that the other party only recognized family and did not care about anything else. It was easy to deal with such people. Zhou Shihu was naturally modest. After waiting for a while, a lot of people came over. There were 2 older people in the lead. It was obvious that they were the old ancestors of the Zhang and Wang families. This was a big show of force. Zhou Qiong suddenly remembered that he came early and did not bring any gifts. He did not know what to do. It was already 4 p.m., and Zhou Qiong's recommendation had not reached 5,000 yet. "You are bullying me too much. Do you think I am afraid of you? I am not afraid. Tomorrow I will let you bully me again." Chapter 102. Seeing so many people coming out of the Tu Zhuangzi, Zhou Qiong felt troubled. If he had come down as an official, this scene would have been perfect. But this time, he was using his normal identity as Zhou Shihu's uncle. Compared to the 2 old masters of the 2 villages, he should be considered a junior. Before he could figure out what to do, the crowd came forward one after another to greet him. He could only follow suit. The crowd surrounded him and pulled him into the main courtyard of Zhangjia Zhuangzi. In the main hall, the 2 old masters of Zhuangzi sat on the same level, occasionally praising each other. Only Zhang Xiaobao's father accompanied them and chatted. This was arranged by Zhang Xiaobao. If one wanted to take the imperial examination, it was not that simple. One needed to be famous and know people above them. For this matter, Zhang Xiaobao had discussed with Wang Wan. They wanted to copy some poems for his father and make him famous. But after considering that his father would not be so thick-skinned as to copy poems, they could only give up. Only then did they painstakingly try to establish a good relationship with him. Originally, they planned to look for the Prime Minister surnamed Yao during the disaster relief, but after considering that person would be dismissed in a few days, they had to find a new way. The people in the hall chatted until dinner time. Naturally, they made some arrangements. The women of the family left, and the children were not allowed to sit at the table. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took pomegranate to eat. They went out to train for a while, then went to bed. Zhou Qiong had chatted with Zhang Zhong's father for a long time. He was quite satisfied with the heads of the Zhang family, Zhang Yongqing. They had talent, but they were a bit inflexible. Although they were the heads of the family, the real person in charge of the family was actually from the Zhang Wang clan. They had the ability to take care of Zhuangzi in an orderly manner. This could be seen from the actions and words of the servants. During the meal, the servant girls who served the dishes were all so steady and did not deliberately try to please him. There was no fault to be found in their etiquette. Their eyes were clear, making people feel that they were sincere, and their responses were appropriate. They gave people the feeling that they were eating at home. Although they were servants of the manor, they would not look bad in some manners. After the meal, Zhou Qiong and the others were arranged to rest after a bumpy day. At this time, the sky was not dark yet. Zhou Qiong, who was originally tired, was lying on the couch, but couldn't fall asleep. He tossed and turned, and had no choice but to get up and take a look outside. After putting on her clothes and pushing open the door, the maidservant who had been waiting outside respectfully greeted her. When she heard that this lady wanted to walk around, she didn't stop her. She followed beside her and found someone who passed by to report to the steward. As soon as he arrived outside the main courtyard, Zhou Qiong saw two children using slingshots to hit a tree on the other side of the river. Beside the two children stood a servant girl wearing the master's servant clothes. Xiao Ju, are these two children the Xiao Bao and Cuckoo of Zhuangzi? Zhou Qiong asked the servant girl beside her. In reply to Darren, it is the little master and the little lady. Darren, look over there. The water from the well is different from other places. It tastes sweet. The servant girl Xiao Ju replied. She pointed to a place in front of them and gently introduced it. She wanted to lead Zhou Qiong there. She was afraid that Zhou Qiong would be happy and want to say a few words to the little master and the little lady. If the two little ancestors revealed too much at once, Zhou Qiong would be suspicious. Oh, only this one is different. Have to taste it. Take me to see your little master and little lady first. Zhou Qiong followed the servant girl's words and looked in that direction. He was about to walk over when he suddenly realized that the servant girl didn't want him to meet the two children. Strange, he was actually led to another place by the servant girl. If it wasn't for the fact that he usually talked to people like this, he really would have been led there. How impressive. If it was someone else, they might have said, Darren, why don't you look elsewhere? That would be too obvious. However, the servant girl acted as if she didn't care. When Xiao Ju heard this, she knew that her thoughts had been seen through. She didn't show any panic on her face and gently said, Darren, your body is precious. You don't have to see it personally. Let me invite the little master and little lady. There's no hurry. Let them play for a while. I like children the most. Xiao Ju, let me ask you, what do you usually do in this courtyard? I saw 3 little stars embroidered on your clothes. Some people embroidered 1 or 2. Could it be that there's something else? Zhou Qiong was now interested in the servant girls. Those that were sent to serve him were definitely chosen carefully. Xiao Ju smiled sweetly. In reply to Darren, I usually serve the old madam. Darren, your guess is very accurate. The servants in this courtyard are divided into 3 classes. 2 stars are first class, 1 star is second class. There are no third class. Then what about these 3 stars of yours? Special class. They are all favored by the old madam and madam. Xiao Ju's smile didn't change. Then Xiao Ju, you are not ordinary. Tell me, how do you become a special class? What is the class of the servant girl that serves your little master and little lady? Zhou Qiong was getting more and more curious about this Zhangjia Zhuangzi. In reply to Darren, a special class servant first has to serve in this courtyard for 10 years. I started helping out when I was 6 years old and have been doing this for 11 years. Other than that, I still have to help my family in Zhuangzi's previous generation. With these two, I have to pick someone who is sensible and smart to learn how to read. After that, I have to choose someone who is knowledgeable and knows how to keep accounts. Xiao Ju's voice was still very pleasant when she spoke. She didn't sound arrogant at all. Only the other people in the courtyard knew that there were only 3 servants like her in the entire courtyard. Not everyone had the opportunity to learn things. After the little master and little lady became sensible, they started to send a large number of servants to learn. Other than learning, they also had to work. To be able to reach such a standard, it was obvious how much effort they had put in. Zhou Qiong also knew that there weren't many servants in his residence who had the opportunity to learn how to read. People like Xiao Ju were very rare. At that moment, he didn't continue to harp on this topic. He stopped Xiao Ju from going to invite her little master and little lady and walked over. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still playing. When Zhou Qiong's gaze landed on them, the two of them sensed it. People like them were especially sensitive to such things, especially Zhang Xiaobao. He had been captured, escaped and besieged before, so he had long trained to be sensitive. However, they still pretended not to notice. It wasn't until Pomegranate saw someone coming over and reminded them that they stopped what they were doing. Wang Wan hid behind Zhang Xiaobao while Wei Wei stuck her head out. The two of them blinked their big innocent eyes and looked at Zhou Qiong. "You are Xiaobao and you are Cuckoo? Come, let uncle take a good look at you." Zhou Qiong took a liking to the two children as soon as he saw them. He didn't wait for the servant girl to speak before he walked over, squatted down, and smiled at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan as he spoke. "Hello, uncle." Zhang Xiaobao greeted him first, and Wang Wan also followed suit in a small voice. At this time, the two of them didn't speak as fluently as before, and their enunciation wasn't as clear. They had shy and curious expressions on their faces. Pomegranate and Xiao Ju watched from the side and inwardly let out a sigh of relief. The little master and little lady were really not ordinary. Zhou Qiong didn't know that the two children were pretending to be children. When he heard the greetings, his smile grew wider. "Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, tell uncle, how old are you?" 3 years old. Zhang Xiaobao raised 3 fingers in front of him and replied with wide eyes. Wang Wan revealed half of her body and also said, "I'm the same age as Xiao Bao." Zhou Qiong knew that this was a false calculation. Otherwise, the two children would both be 1 year and 8 months old. Looking at the pair in front of him, he really felt like they were a golden couple. He asked again, "Do you know who I am? My surname is Zhou, and I have a nephew named Zhou Shihu." After saying this, he looked at the two children. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan first revealed a puzzled and thoughtful expression. Then they suddenly smiled and nodded vigorously. Zhang Xiaobao said first, "Be a high-ranking official." Wang Wan followed, "Good person." After Wang Wan finished speaking, her entire body flashed out from behind Zhang Xiaobao and stood there obediently, as if she was no longer afraid. When Zhou Qiong heard this, he was happy. The child didn't know anything and would do whatever the adults taught her. This showed that the people in the courtyard usually taught the child this way. Especially when he saw Wang Wan's fearless appearance, he felt very comfortable. The child's wishes were the wishes of the adults. When he was happy, he wanted to give a gift. His 2 hands searched his body and found that he didn't bring anything. He could only apologetically smile at the two children and say, "Uncle didn't bring anything for you this time. Next time I'll make up for it." Zhang Xiaobao immediately handed over a slingshot at his waist. "This is for uncle." He and Wang Wan each held 2 slingshots. One was strong and the other was weak. When no one was looking, they would practice with the strong one. If someone was nearby, they would take the weak one. This time they gave the weak one to Zhou Qiong. This time, Zhou Qiong didn't know whether to accept or not. If he didn't accept a gift from the child would be unhappy. If he accepted it, how could he return it? Although it was just a slingshot, it was a treasure to the child. If the child gave him a treasure, what would he do? Looking at Zhang Xiaobao's expectant gaze, Zhou Qiong reached out and took the slingshot. He thought that he must repay this favor in the future. He also needed to help find candidates for the imperial examinations. After taking the slingshot, Zhou Qiong said a few words to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The two children didn't understand a lot of things. Occasionally, they would spit out a few words that weren't very clear. It was considered chatting, waiting for Zhou Qiong to decide to go back and rest. He was going to continue discussing matters with the people in Zhuangzi tomorrow and meet the two masters. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also went back to sleep. They still had to wake up at night to study. This time Zhou Qiong could finally sleep. However, he had a long dream at night. When he woke up in the morning, he could still remember what happened in the dream. He dreamed that he encountered a problem in the future. No one could help him. In the end, two children appeared and told him what to do. He couldn't see what the two children looked like, but what they said shocked him. In the end, he saw the two children each holding a slingshot and gradually running away. Shaking his slightly confused head, Zhou Qiong looked at the small slingshot beside his pillow. He thought that what he thought about in the day, he dreamed at night. Before he went to sleep, he thought about how to repay the gift of the slingshot. In the end, he dreamt the whole night. Chapter 103. When Zhou Qiong, Zhou Shihu, and the yamen runner got up, someone came to serve them. After a while, the yamen runner was led to another place to eat. Zhou Shihu and his nephew were invited to a separate dining room. Everything had been set up. The bowl of porridge was still steaming. It was obvious that it had just been served. There were more than a dozen small salted vegetables. Beside them were deep-fried dough sticks, steamed buns and steamed buns. In addition to the two types of porridge, there was also soy milk and tofu pudding. Zhou Qiong originally thought that he would have to drink since morning. He didn't expect that there would be some ordinary food prepared. The small salted vegetables were just meat and vegetables. There was no other meaning to it. This time, the old masters of the Zhang and Wang families didn't come out. Only Father Zhang came to accompany them. There were only 3 people in the dining room. Looking at the food on the table in front of him, Zhou Qiong felt that there were too many types. He said, "Brother Yongqing, there are so many things that I don't know which to choose. Why don't we take some away and let the servants eat at noon? By then the servants will be hungry." Father Zhang didn't expect Zhou Qiong to ask such a question. He smiled and replied, "Brother Miaoran, you don't have to worry about this. Everyone in the courtyard except for those who are working is eating. At noon these things have to be fried in oil. Otherwise the servants won't eat them." Yesterday, Father Zhang called Zhou Qiong Lord. After being rejected by Zhou Qiong, he started calling him by his courtesy name. Zhou Qiong was stunned when he heard this. He picked up a steamed bun and put it in front of his mouth. He said, "Does Zhangjia Zhuangzi take care of the servants' breakfast? Brother Miaoran has never been here before. Naturally you don't know the situation here. Not to mention Zhangjia Zhuangzi. Even the Wang family's Zhuangzi is the same. In addition to 3 meals a day, the night watch also has supper," Father Zhang said to Zhou Qiong. "Why do they do this? They eat a lot of food every day, right?" Zhou Qiong didn't even have this in his own residence. The servants only had 2 meals a day. When he came to Zhuangzi, he actually heard such an unbelievable thing. "Brother Miaoran, you don't believe me. Why don't you let little tiger take a look?" Father Zhang said to Zhou Qiong. In fact, he wanted Zhou Shihu to go check it out. Zhou Shihu felt that this was not good. Seeing his uncle nod, he could only get up and leave. He went to the courtyard to take a look. Before he left, he glanced at the food on the table. He knew that the taste of Zhangjia Zhuangzi's side dishes was definitely better than the ones outside. After Zhou Shihu left, Zhou Qiong saw that only he and Father Zhang were left in the hall. Only then did he say, "Brother Yongqing, what are your plans this time?" "I can't say what I plan to do, but there's something I need to trouble Brother Miaoran with. Zhuangzi and Zhuangzi are running 2 businesses together, and they will continue to run them in the future. However, when it comes to splitting the profits, Zhuangzi has taken too much of the advantage, especially when it comes to the white sugar. Zhuangzi has already recouped its capital, so why don't we change it to 10%? Father Zhang purposely sent Zhou Shihu away so that he could discuss matters with Zhou Qiong. When Zhou Qiong asked about it, the first thing he mentioned was the white sugar. "Brother Yongqing, I can't make the decision on this matter. When the time comes, Zhuangzi will send someone to discuss with Xiao Hu. Whether Xiao Hu thinks it's feasible or not, it's up to him to decide." Zhou Qiong didn't care about this matter. A little more money wouldn't affect his position. Father Zhang saw that there was no need to worry about this matter, so he said, "There's one more thing. Zhang Wang and Gu San have jointly built a restaurant in Zhuangzi. This place is remote. When the time comes, I hope Brother Miaoran can help us. Brother Miaoran can rest assured that the restaurant's dishes won't damage Brother Miaoran's reputation." "Oh, so that's how it is. Okay, I've already seen that place when I came. Seems pretty good. When the time comes, I'll definitely bring someone over." Zhou Qiong didn't care about this matter. When the time comes, he'll just find an excuse to come over. It wasn't the first time he'd done something like this. This matter could be considered to have been discussed properly. There was only one last thing left. Father Zhang didn't know what to say. According to him, it was to send out the grain for peace of mind. However, according to his wife, not only did they have to send it out, they also had to sell it. When the time comes, they would get the same amount of money from selling it. They couldn't lose money. After hesitating for a moment, he said, "There's one more thing. There's a drought in Taihang Mountains and Hunan. Zhangjia Zhuangzi still has surplus grain. I wonder if they can send it over there to solve the urgent situation. Here in Zhuangzi, Zhang Wang and Zhuangzi also want to buy a mountain. It's more than 1,000 mu, and it costs 1,500 taels of silver. When the time comes, County Magistrate Cheng can use this money to suppress the price." When the third thing was mentioned, Zhou Qiong pondered deeply. At this time, he finally understood why County Magistrate Cheng told him to delay the investigation until after the summer. It turned out that Zhangjia Zhuangzi had this idea. At the end of summer, there would be a shortage of grain. As long as Zhangjia Zhuangzi sold the grain at a fair price, they would get a lot of benefits. It seemed that the Zhang family wanted to give it away for free. He also knew that the grain had been bought by Zhang Wang and Zhang Wang since last year. It was the autumn harvest season, and the 2 families had spent almost all of their savings. After adding in the money they earned from some transactions later, the amount of grain was not a lot, but it was not a small amount either. In total, they had obtained nearly 10,000 dawn of grain. In total, there were 800,000 jin of grain. It was impossible to solve the food problem of so many people with this amount of grain. However, if it could solve the food problem of tens of thousands of people for a few months without any problem, it would be a big contribution. Seeing that Zhou Qiong was thinking about something, Father Zhang did not disturb him. He put his chopsticks on the chopstick holder and waited there. After a while, Zhou Qiong finally said, "I heard that you have 800,000 jin of grain. Are you going to give it all away directly?" Well, Father Zhang did not expect Zhou Qiong to know so much. It was indeed as Zhou Qiong said. His family had been thinking of ways to store grain, and they did have this much now. However, this grain could not be given away for free. He could only say, "My family's intention is to give away half of the grain and leave the other half for others to help earn back the capital. I wonder what the imperial court will reward us for doing this." Hearing this, Zhou Qiong understood. It turned out that Zhangjia Zhuangzi wanted to sell the other half at a high price and earn back the money they gave away. If they really did this, it would not be as simple as just earning back the money, but at least they would gain some profit. Zhou Qiong was not surprised at all. It did not matter who sold the grain. There were more big grain merchants who wanted to make money from disasters. Since Zhangjia Zhuangzi said this, it meant that he did not treat Zhou Qiong as an outsider. After thinking for a while, Zhou Qiong said, "If you can really take out so much grain, you have to let County Magistrate Cheng submit a report first. I will also submit a report on my side. Not to mention keeping the grain, it is not impossible to go one step further. However, when you sell the grain, you have to find someone reliable. Don't make any mistakes. I just don't know who is handling the disaster this time. Otherwise, they can help even more." Father Zhang listened to Zhou Qiong's words and stared straight at the small dishes on the table. If someone looked closely, they would find that his pupils were out of focus. He was in a trance. In this state, he did not even need to adjust to look at a three-dimensional picture. He did not know what to say now. To be precise, he did not know if he should follow his wife's words or that immortal son's words. All of Zhou Qiong's reactions were predicted correctly. Even the content of his words was predicted. These were all what his wife told him. However, he knew that only his son and daughter-in-law had this kind of ability. From the breakfast arrangement until now, there was no difference at all. Father Zhang suddenly felt that Zhou Qiong was a little pitiful. After saying so much, everything was under the control of his son and daughter-in-law. They were really monsters, no immortals. "Brother Yongqing, what's wrong? Did something bad happen again?" Zhou Qiong saw that Father Zhang was in a trance and raised his voice to ask. "No, it's nothing. This time it might not only be a drought, but also a plague of locusts. Zhangjia Zhuangzi has prepared close to 10,000 chickens and ducks. When the time comes, you can go over and help. The people sent by the higher-ups are not ordinary people. I heard that Prime Minister Yao has always been good at handling government affairs. Perhaps the Prime Minister will personally take care of it." Father Zhang had memorized all these words. No matter how he thought about it, he could not think of a Prime Minister who would personally take care of these matters. However, these words came from his wife, so he had to believe them. Plague of locusts. Why is there a plague of locusts again? Brother Yongqing, this is not something to be worried about. The locusts are the emperor. If there really is a plague of locusts, then it is a sign from the heavens. You raised so many chickens and ducks in Zhuangzi. Could it be that you already planned for this? As Zhou Qiong was speaking, he suddenly remembered that Zhangjia Zhuangzi had raised many chickens and ducks since last year. They also made a pond and dug a well. Could it be that the experts in Zhuangzi had already thought of this? Did they arrange it in advance? The more Zhou Qiong thought about it, the more fearful he felt. Not only was the expert powerful, but he was also afraid of the plague of locusts. If this was true, then this year's losses would not be enough. The east of Taihang Mountains and Hunan would be affected. When that time came, not to mention several times the price of the grain, it would not be enough. Brother Yongqing, where did you hear all this from? Zhou Qiong had to ask. I didn't hear from anyone. It's all blind guesses. Why do you ask? Father Zhang tried his best to control himself and said with a smile. Oh, it's nothing. I was just casually asking. Brother Yongqing, today's breakfast is very good. Seeing that Father Zhang was unwilling to talk about the expert behind this, Zhou Qiong could only suppress his guesses and pick up a piece of shallot to mix with tofu. Brother Miaoran is too polite. It's nothing good, just ordinary food. Xiao Hu should be back soon, right? Brother Miaoran, eat first. It will be cold soon. Father Zhang picked up a fried red shrimp and stuffed it into his mouth. He actually did not like to eat shrimp, especially this kind of shrimp that had to be eaten even with a shell. However, Madam would prepare some for him every day. If he did not eat it, then Madam would go to his parents and complain. He did not know why his parents doted on Chao so much. If Chao complained, he was guaranteed to be scolded. He did not even dare to throw a tantrum. Chao gave birth to a big fat boy who was like a demon or an immortal. Chapter 104. Zhou Qiong and Father Zhang finished their discussion. Just as they were about to chat, Zhou Shihu hurried back. Just as he was about to speak, he saw Father Zhang sitting at the side. Only then did he remember that he was waiting in someone else's house. He could only swallow his words and obediently sit beside his uncle. He picked up his chopsticks and began to eat. Fortunately, the food was not cold. After the conversation just now, Zhou Qiong was no longer so distant. He asked his nephew, "Xiao Hu, did you see that everyone in the Zhang family's courtyard is eating?" "Yes, wait." Zhou Shihu ate quickly. He quickly drank a mouthful of soy milk and swallowed the food before saying, I saw it all. Except for those who had something to do in the morning, everyone is eating there. Only a few small salted vegetables are less than here. As for the rest, there is not a single one missing. They can eat whatever they want. I saw a strong man eating a big steamed bun in 3 mouthfuls. In a short while, he actually ate 4 steamed buns. He wasn't afraid of choking. Uncle Zhang, what you did is really better than other places. Your nephew will say something disrespectful. If you do this, the people in the courtyard will only remember you. Not to mention the people from the government. Even if the emperor himself comes, the people in the courtyard will protect you. Xiao Hu, what are you talking about? Isn't your Uncle Zhang helping the emperor treat the people in the courtyard better? How did it become like a private army? Zhou Qiong frowned and lectured his nephew. He was also lamenting in his heart. Zhangjia Zhuangzi actually gave the servants breakfast. Those who were on night watch also had to eat supper. This was using money to pave the way. One could imagine the loyalty of the people in the courtyard. For meals, they were just like that in the manor. Here they were prepared for the servants. No wonder Xiao Ju led him to another place. He was afraid that he would hurt the young master and wife. At that time, he did not do anything that would hurt the 2 children. Otherwise, Xiao Ju and Pomegranate beside him would have pounced on him and risked their lives. It was no wonder that the people in Zhuangzi were full of envy when they talked about the Zhang family and the Wang family. The Zhang family and the Wang family actually managed the entire Zhuangzi like an iron plate. Why did the 2 children dare to play outside with a maid accompanying them? All they had to do was call out, and the farmers of the Zhang family and Wang family would rush over upon hearing the sound. Having money in one's own family was not a matter of ability. Being able to get the people around them to take care of them was a matter of ability. Uncle, I wonder how you slept last night. I noticed that there were people walking back and forth in the middle of the night. When I woke up, I noticed that many of the rooms were still lit. Zhou Shihu was indeed frightened. He was frightened by Zhangjia Zhuangzi's way of doing things. He didn't care that the master of the Zhangjia Zhuangzi was beside him as he continued to talk to his uncle. There's such a thing. Brother Yongqing, how did you arrange this courtyard? Could it be that they are doing this just for us? Zhou Shihu was also surprised. He felt that this was not a Zhuangzi, but a place similar to the imperial palace. Although he had never been there at night, he had heard that there were always people patrolling the imperial palace at night. Since Zhou Shihu asked, Father Zhang didn't want to lie. Therefore he said, starting from last autumn, the Wang family also followed suit in Zhuangzi. They hired a few more people and didn't spend too much money. With someone walking back and forth at night, the people in the courtyard will be more at ease. There's no need to worry. It's just some lamp oil, so the people in the courtyard will sleep soundly. When they wake up early in the morning, it will be better than usual. It's worth it. We don't care about such a small amount of money, especially the maids. Usually they don't dare to wake up at night. Now that there are always people around, there will be less trouble. Servants are also people. Okay, when I go back I will do the same. No wonder your Zhuangzi feels different from other places. All the servants are working hard. Brother Yongqing, this is all your wife's idea, right? Zhou Shihu was indeed touched. When he thought of how serious the servants were when they were working, he thought that the courtyard was strict. Now he understood that it was because they were good to the servants. Seemed simple, but in fact it was not easy. What else could Father Zhang say? He couldn't betray his own child. He nodded, admitting to this matter. The money was earned by his son and daughter-in-law. It was not under his control at all. He had been learning things all day. The people in the courtyard were more respectful to his son and daughter-in-law than to him. Seeing that Father Zhang admitted to it, the three of them began to eat again. Zhou Shihu drank a bowl of soy milk and moved the slightly cold tofu pudding in front of him. Then he looked at the mantus and steamed buns that he couldn't finish and asked, "Uncle Zhang, are we really going to fry these leftovers for the servants to eat? Won't it be fine to heat them up?" Of course it's fine to heat them up. Many people don't even need to heat them up. However, there are usually a lot of things to do in the afternoon. In addition to the work in the morning, the servants are tired and need to take care of themselves. Fry them in oil. One has a lot of oil and the other has a good taste, so they can eat more. Let them eat more, let them recuperate and do more work. It's easy to tire them out and then buy more people, but it's hard to guarantee their loyalty. These people in the courtyard, if the master tells them some secret things, even if you catch them and skin them alive, they won't reveal the secret. So what if you treat them a little better? Father Zhang had deep feelings about this matter. Sometimes when he met Cherries, Pomegranate, Xiaohong, Huzi and Erniu, and wanted to ask how his son was, these people didn't say a word. They would be whipped to death. Especially Erniu, who had served by his side in the past. When asked anxiously, he would say, "Master, even if you beat me to death, I won't say a word. The young master has ordered me to keep my mouth shut." At that time, Father Zhang was jealous that his son could control the servants like this. According to Madame, when she asked Erniu, Erniu also answered in the same way. Such a clever person dared to resist the master's questioning. Father Zhang was just a servant who took care of the surroundings. He answered whatever Madame asked. There was no comparison. Of course, Father Zhang didn't know that there was a kind of power called faith. Those who followed Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had long regarded them as gods. Even if Wang Wan made a bomb, they would carry it with them and rush into the enemy to detonate it. Zhou Qiong didn't know that Father Zhang would have so many ideas in such a short time. Seeing that the porridge was getting cold, he quickly drank 2 mouthfuls. Just as he was about to speak, suddenly there was a sound of disorderly footsteps outside. "Brother Yongqing, this is?" Zhou Qiong asked in confusion. Logically speaking, since the servants in the courtyard were so well behaved, they shouldn't be so flustered. Father Zhang also didn't know what happened. He turned his head to look at the door, waiting for someone to come and explain. After a while, a person appeared at the door and said to him, "Master, just a quarter of an hour ago, Zhang Qing's cow accidentally rolled down from the mountain. Zhang Qing's 7-year-old child also fell down. The courtyard has already sent 2 doctors. It is estimated that they will arrive in a quarter of an hour. There are other people who will also go to help." "Got it. Quickly go and settle it. Tell people to bring all the necessary things. Don't delay." When Father Zhang heard this, he also became anxious. After all, it was a human life. It didn't matter if the cow died. If they couldn't beat it, they just had to report it to the government. But if something happened to the child, it would be difficult to handle. If he judged others, he didn't even dare to think about it if his son fell down. The servant responded and left. Zhou Qiong was curious again. "Brother Yongqing, where did that person fall down? Where else could it be? There is only one place on Zhuangzi that is dangerous. In a while I had people dig that place flat. It rained, and a lot of mud and stones slid down the mountain, making that place steep. If I had known that this would happen, I would have had people flatten it. It's all because of the busy spring season." Father Zhang's face didn't look good. He suppressed his anxiety and said, "Oh, then how far is that place from here?" Zhou Qiong asked again. "Oh, I know why Brother Miaron wants to know. The people there found it too late. Otherwise they would have sent people out long ago. There are 2 doctors on Zhuangzi. One is in charge of the animals, and the other is in charge of the people. They will go out when there is an illness." Brother Miaoran, when you came you must have seen some shelves built on Zhuangzi, right? Yes, I saw it. Is it related to this? The shelves are connected to some ropes made of fine silk. Each of the Zhang family and the Wang family has 2 ropes. One is a bell, and the other is connected to the bamboo tubes on both sides. When there is an emergency, they use those ropes to call for help. Usually, in less than 10 breaths, they will know and immediately respond. When Father Zhang mentioned those things, he raised his head. A proud expression appeared on his face. He was qualified to be like this. Last time, Zhang Xiaoshu's family only took a quarter of an hour from the time the accident happened to them. Who could compare with this speed? Zhou Qiong was also dumbfounded. He did see those shelves, but he didn't expect that they were built by the main family on Zhuangzi for the villagers to call for help. When something happened on Zhuangzi, the people here were sent out immediately. His manner was even worse than Zhuangzi's. If something happened on Zhuangzi, it would take an hour for the people farther away to send the news. Brother Yongqing, can you take us to have a look? The more Zhou Qiong thought about it, the more incredulous he felt. He couldn't hold back his thoughts and suggested, "Okay, then let's go and have a look. I wonder how Zhang Qing's child is doing. Don't let anything happen to him. He is a treasure in his family." Father Zhang was no longer in the mood to eat. He agreed, got up and walked outside. Zhou Shihu and his nephew also put down their chopsticks and followed behind Father Zhang. They wanted to see if this matter was true or not. Seeing was believing. When the 3 of them arrived at the place by car, there was a child crying there. There was also an adult scolding the child for being careless. If the child wasn't injured, the adult would have gone over and hit him. So that's how it is. No wonder big brother and sister-in-law are so much better than before. Yongqing, you really keep a tight lid on Zhuangzi's secret. That's good too. I'm envious of you. Zhou Qiong understood immediately. Even though it was just 2 more things, they were very useful. The cow is dead. Mr. Zhang gave Zhou Qiong a, "You know what's going on" expression, then asked Zhang Qing. Yes, he fell to his death. Zhang Qing nodded and replied, "If he's dead, bring him back to the main family. Where's the housekeeper?" Mr. Zhang glanced at the surrounding crowd. "Master, I'm here. I'll send someone to report to the government later." According to the new rules of the main family, Zhang Qing's child is not yet 15 years old, so he's considered underage. This time his arm was broken. The main family will take out 20 gene of bones and other things to help the child recover. All the medical fees will be paid by the main family. Steward Zhang also came. He stood out from the crowd and said to Mr. Zhang. Mr. Zhang nodded and looked at the child again. Send 1 gene of fried noodles here. Let the child eat it and get better soon." "Yes, master." The housekeeper answered, indicating that he had remembered it. "Brother Yongqing, are you going to bear all the losses by yourself?" Zhou Qiong was puzzled. Why did the main family take care of the cow that fell to its death? He also took care of the medical fees plus the bones and other things. How could it be reasonable for the farmer to fall to his death? Now that everything was settled and the child was fine, Father Zhang was relieved. He smiled at Zhou Qiong and said, "He's such a young child, yet he doesn't know much. How old is he? It must be because other people don't herd cows there and the grass there is better. That's why he's herding the cows there." If he wanted to complain, he could only blame the master's family for not flattening that area earlier. He could have knocked down the area that was damaged by the water and made a gentle slope. Then how could the child have broken his arm? Normally you don't even dare to kill a cow. Now you have beef to eat. Brother Miaoran, you may not know, but Xiaobao and Cuckoo love to eat beef the most. Especially the tendons. I used a special method to make them. When I bite it, I don't feel it's hard at all. It's soft and fragrant. I'll peel off the cowhide and use it to make small jackets for them in winter. Let's go back. Zhou Qiong was deeply moved by Father Zhang's nonchalant attitude when he said yes. He could not blame the other party for setting up the seedling protection team. When they first met him, the master was in charge of everything. The only thing the farmer needed to do was to listen to the master's arrangements. He did not expect that the farm would have such a rule. It was very difficult to deal with the main family in this place. It was no different from a dream to bribe a farmer. From the time of the incident to the treatment, it was so far away. The main family took all the responsibility and even gave the bones to the child. It was easy to cross the river, but difficult to deal with Zhangjia Zhuangzi. After the matter was resolved, the surrounding farmers began to disperse. Some people even came over to comfort Zhang Qing. Zhang Qing didn't say any words of gratitude. When everyone left, he hugged his son and said with heartache, "Don't wander around in the future. I heard that there will be a school this year. I'll send you there and learn well. When you grow up, you have to help the main family. Don't do anything that will let the main family down. Otherwise, if I find out, I'll strangle you to death and pretend that I don't have a son like you." "Dad, I know. It's a pity that the cow is gone. Dad, when the bones are sent here, let Mom eat them. Mom may give me a younger brother or sister again. Let them grow strong." The child touched the part of his arm that was already in a plaster cast and said to his father. It was the first time he used this thing. He said that it was made by the main family. It was better to break apart than to just stick it out. Zhang Qing held his son in his arms and said, "It doesn't matter if it's a younger brother or sister. When you're born, the main family will give you things and take care of you. When you go to school, don't come home if you can't learn." "Dad, I got it. I'll definitely study hard and help Master do big things. It'll be even better when I become an official. At that time, I'll see who dares to find fault with Master," the child said with a serious face. Father Zhang brought Zhou Qiong over to take a look and returned to the courtyard. It seemed that he was preparing to send Zhou Qiong and the others away. Zhou Qiong was anxious. He still wanted to ask for some advice. If he left like this, it would be difficult to find another opportunity. Therefore he said to Father Zhang, "Brother Yongqing, when it's time for the imperial examination, don't worry. I'll definitely find a good person for you. Who does Brother Yongqing think is suitable?" "I don't know. I hope Brother Miao Ran can give me a few pointers." Father Zhang wanted to take the imperial examination so that he could bring glory to his family. He didn't know much about this kind of thing, so he could only ask others. "Brother Yongqing is joking. How can I not know? If Brother Yongqing really doesn't know, you can ask others. When the time comes, they can help me ask who the current wind and cloud belongs to." Zhou Qiong naturally didn't believe Father Zhang's words. He thought to himself, "You have 2 experts in your family. How can I not tell you such a small thing?" Father Zhang looked at Zhou Qiong in a daze for a few breaths of time before saying, "Since Brother Miao Ran asked, let me think of a way." In truth, he didn't know what to do. Madam didn't tell him this kind of thing, so his face revealed an anxious expression. At this time, Erniu, who shouldn't be here, suddenly entered the hall. "Master, this little one has an important matter." Erniu looked at the 3 people in the hall and said to the master. No matter how stupid Father Zhang was, he knew that Erniu's words couldn't be said to others. He put down the teacup and looked at Erniu. At this time, Erniu was clever. He walked to the master's side and whispered a few words. Then he smiled at Zhou Qiong and Zhou Shihu and turned to leave. After Erniu left for a while, Father Zhang was still in a daze. It wasn't until a servant came to pour tea that he picked up the cup and took a sip. He said to Zhou Qiong, "Brother Miao Ran, you must remember the matters of the previous dynasty. You must not associate with women. It's better to stay away from anything related to women. Not only the princess but also the other ministers. Otherwise it won't be a good sign." "Brother Yongqing, are you talking about being under one person?" Zhou Qiong wasn't stupid. When he heard this, he connected the dots and understood what it meant. He quickly asked, "I don't know what Brother Miao Ran is talking about. Anyway, it's just a sentence. Whether we listen or not is not up to us." Father Zhang's words didn't mean to admit anything. This was also part of what Erniu said when he came over. Felt a little unfathomable. In fact, even he didn't know what it was. He just said it according to what he said. When Zhou Qiong heard these words, he thought a lot. He summed up what Father Zhang said and found that he couldn't rely on the people he wanted to rely on now. All of this was because of a servant's whisper. Others might think that the servant came over to say something, but Zhou Qiong thought that the two masters didn't want to see him in a difficult position, so they helped him. The more he thought about it, the more scared he felt. What a powerful person. He just asked, and the other side knew what he was asking and sent someone to inform him in advance. No wonder County Magistrate Cheng always wanted to be the disciple of this person. With such a person behind the scenes, it really saved a lot of trouble. However, just this sentence only told him to stay away from the person, but not to get close to the person. This won't do. If he didn't ask clearly, wouldn't he waste his efforts if he didn't do well in the future? Chapter 106. Well, I don't know if Brother Yongqing knows more. Oh, I don't know. Just a guess. Just a guess. At this moment, Zhou Qiong had already confirmed that there was indeed an expert in the Zhang family's farmstead. Otherwise, it would be impossible for the two farmsteads to be in such a state. However, that expert did not seem to be willing to meet with them. He only sent a servant over to inform them. In order to obtain more information, he could only continue to speak to Father Zhang, hoping to find out what the imperial court was doing through him. If it wasn't for the fact that he had come here with this intention and had seen many unbelievable things, he definitely wouldn't have believed it so easily. Just as he asked, the master of the Zhang family happened to send someone to tell the master of the Zhang family what he wanted to know. This was too much of a coincidence. Zhou Qiong would rather believe that it was arranged deliberately than think that it was a coincidence. Others might not understand the meaning of this, but he understood. Don't have anything to do with a woman. It was not a good sign. What was it? It was obviously a Yao character. She mentioned a woman and then a princess. This meant that this person's status was not low. Who else was a woman? Besides Wu Meinyang, there was only Princess Taiping. Both of them were important figures. Then the person they were talking about must be an important figure. At this time, if not the emperor, who else was important? Prime Minister Yu. What was his surname? His surname was Yao. Woman. It was not a good sign. Together, it was the Prime Minister. Could it be that they were telling him that the Prime Minister might not make it and that he should stay away? Zhou Qiong was able to figure this out in a short amount of time. He wanted to know more about this, so he continued to ask. Father Zhang didn't even understand what Erniu said just now. He just said the original words. How could he say anything else? For a moment, he didn't know how to answer. Zhou Qiong naturally knew that Father Zhang didn't say anything at all. His purpose was to get someone to go to the place where the two masters were and talk to them. However, before he could continue to think of a way to get Father Zhang to ask, Erniu, who had just come over, came over again. He also whispered a few words into Father Zhang's ear. After Erniu left, Father Zhang calmed down a little and said to Zhou Qiong, Brother Miao Ran, there's no need to rush to know some things. As the saying goes, even if a mtai collapses in front of you, your expression won't change. Brother Yongqing is right, that should be the case. How could Zhou Qiong have the leisure to do that at this moment? Whether or not Mount Tai was Mount Tai did not matter to him. What he wanted to know now was who his future backer would be. No matter how tall or majestic Mount Tai was, it could not compare to a good backer. That's right. It's great that Brother Miaoran can think this way. As the saying goes, one is hot and one is warm in Lingnan. If one were to ask who was sitting in the East Ridge, there would be a cover and a wood king by the side. As long as Brother Miaoran remembers this, it's fine. Father Zhang repeated what Erniu had just said without changing a single word. What's the saying? Zhou Qiong didn't understand. He sat there and muttered a few words. Then he stopped talking and frowned. Beside him, Zhou Shihu didn't dare to disturb him. He smiled at Father Zhang and waited there. Zhou Qiong felt like his head was going to explode. He really couldn't understand the meaning of those 4 sentences. If it was someone else who said those words, he wouldn't care. However, it was the servant who said those words. Needless to say, that servant was related to the expert. The expert knew what he was thinking. Just now, he had already reminded her that she could not rely on a certain person. Now he said these words again. That was exactly what she wanted to know, which was who she could rely on. In Lingnan, when many people heard this, they would think of the line between the Qinling Mountains and the Huai River. In winter, the north would freeze, while the other side would be as warm as spring. But if he really thought about it this way, it seemed a little wrong. Then it should be one cold and one warm in Lingnan, not one hot and one warm and hot. It was definitely impossible for the Qinling Mountains and the Huai River, so what kind of mountains were there? Thinking about it again, there was no need to rush. It was so far away. Could it be that the mountain range was further away? What kind of mountain range was the mountain range further away? Far mountain range, Lingnan, wasn't it far away? It would take at least half a year to get there from here. Could it be that someone would come from there? Otherwise, why would it be closer? Who was there? Yes, who could it be? If you ask who was sitting in the Dongling Mountains. Dongling Lingnan Road, east. Guangzhou, who was there in Guangzhou? There was a cover, a wood, and a king in Guangzhou. There was a wood and a king, the governor of Guangzhou, Song Jing. Could it be him? Yes, a cover, wasn't it just the stroke above? Adding a king, could it be that he would rise in the future? Zhou Qiong tried hard to think and finally thought of a person, but he couldn't be sure. It was too hard to believe. A person so far away. Could it be that he would enter the imperial court in the future? Thinking of this, he finally raised his head again and opened his mouth to speak to Father Zhang. Before he could speak, Father Zhang opened his mouth and said, "Everything has its own way, is like a dream, an illusion, a bubble, and a shadow. It's like dew and lightning. You should see it as it is. Brother Miaoran, since your name is Miaoran, I believe you must know this." When Father Zhang said it, he felt that it was not reliable. It was a mess and he didn't explain it clearly. How could people guess it? But he had to say it. When Zhou Qiong heard this, he had a different feeling. It seemed that the 2 masters had even calculated his reaction. They obviously didn't want to say too much to him, so they used a Buddhist saying to answer him. Yes, they had already told him a lot, so he couldn't continue to ask. Could it be that he had to ask them to tell him the details in front of them? If that was the case, then the masters were not hidden masters but aides. It was impossible for ordinary people to get these words in their lifetime. He couldn't be too greedy. Thinking of this, Zhou Qiong finally smiled and said to Father Zhang, "Brother Yongqing, you're right. I understand these words and won't ask anything else. Sai, County Magistrate Cheng is a blessed man. If possible, I would rather change places with him. But no matter how blessed County Magistrate Chang is, he can't compare to Brother Yongqing." After saying this, Zhou Qiong cupped his hands at Father Zhang with an envious expression. Father Zhang was completely dumbfounded. He didn't understand how Zhou Qiong could think of something that he didn't expect after he learned a few words from Erniu. He even envied him. Then why was County Magistrate Cheng also blessed? Erniu's words were said by his wife, but Father Zhang knew that it must be said by his son and future daughter-in-law. The poem was written in a slightly different style, but the rhyme was not bad. Could it be that Zhou Qiong envied him for having a good son? This was not bad. His son and daughter-in-law were not ordinary. They were immortals. Not to mention other things, they had the ability to make money. When they were free, they would come up with a way to make money. They even made a lot of snacks for their family. Everything tasted good. The most important thing was that they were good at business and farming. The rice seedlings in Zhuangzi in the Gu family were all blown away by the wind. But in their own family, it was unknown how the 2 little guys played with it. They actually stood there motionless. If they took the seeds and played with them for a few days, the seedlings would be different. In addition to these, there was also the good thing about learning. After explaining it once and asking the two children a few questions, even if they learned it, not only would they be able to answer it in the examination, they would also be able to comprehend it by analogy. However, these things were only known by the people in the inner courtyard. Others didn't know, so how did Zhou Qiong know? Brother Yongqing, what are you thinking about? Are you still not satisfied? With those two looking after you, Yongqing can rest assured in the next imperial examination. When the time comes, I will help you. It will be the icing on the cake. Before Father Zhang could figure it out, Zhou Qiong called out to him. Only then did Father Zhang come back to his senses. He smiled and said, "Thank you, Brother Miaoran, for your kind words. If I really become an official, I will have to thank you properly." "You don't have to thank me. Just thank the two masters behind you. Brother Yongqing may not know, but County Magistrate Cheng is coming to acknowledge you as his teacher. With those two masters around, what else do you have to worry about?" Zhou Qiong didn't know what Father Zhang was thinking, so he continued to speak. Mr. Zhang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What kind of expert was this? Wasn't it his son and daughter-in-law? With just a few words, a sixth-rank official actually became like this. He didn't know what the two children had done to make the county magistrate want to be apprenticed to a master. He wondered if this Si Tsang Army adjunct Zhou would still say this after he knew what this expert looked like. Father Zhang naturally wouldn't sell his son out. He pretended not to know and said, "What masters? Brother Miaoran, you must be joking. They are all ordinary people." Yes, ordinary people, they are all ordinary people. I was wrong. There are no masters. Ordinary people are good. When the restaurant is built, I will come again. I hope to see ordinary people. I will be satisfied with just one meeting. Zhou Qiong misunderstood and thought that Father Zhang was deliberately hiding something and didn't want to say it out loud. He was afraid of offending the masters, so he also echoed. After saying these words, he began to talk about other things with Father Zhang. He said whatever he could think of. It didn't matter whether it was right or wrong in the end. As long as he said it, it was fine. After flattering each other, the day passed. Of course, there was good wine and good food for lunch and dinner. Early the next morning, Zhou Qiong couldn't wait to leave. He wanted to go back and figure out what happened in the mountain village. The two families sent each other to the small bridge. After greeting each other, Zhou Qiong went back on his way. People here also went back home. Everyone was busy with their own things. Only Father Zhang wanted to read a book. When he sat down in the study, he couldn't continue reading. He held the book in his hand. The more he read, the more confused he became. In the end, he reluctantly put it down and opened the window. Seeing the warm red sun outside, he thought of something. Someone call Xiaobao and Cuckoo. Get some snacks and send them to the study. Father Zhang couldn't control himself. He had to ask someone to call the two children and get some food. When the time came, he would be able to coax the two little guys. Chapter 107. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were called over. They left quickly and came back quickly. Zhang Xiaobao's father asked a few questions and they answered selectively. They did not say anything substantial, mainly because Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that his father would be thinking about other things all day long and would not have the energy to study. Even if they wanted to find someone for the imperial examination, they would need to have the ability and knowledge to do so. The snacks were also brought back. Those were the snacks that the two of them made themselves. Usually they would give some to the people in the courtyard. We've made a profit. This year, the whole county is considered to be a disaster, so the production will be reduced by half. We don't have to pay taxes, and we don't have to take out extra silk. We only need to contribute some labor. It's only a few days. Discuss with the Gu family and Zhuangzi to let the county magistrate fix our river. We can use our own people to fix things in our own place. We can even get some construction funds and widen the river. We won't be able to take over the fertile land. Let's go and eat the beef marrow. It's fresh. Zhang Xiaobao felt that he had done a big favor for the family and was in a good mood. As he spoke, He skipped like a child towards the kitchen. Wang Wan stood there in a daze for 2 seconds before running over as well. Don't think about the construction fees anymore. Fix the river properly. What if there's another flood tomorrow? We can't fool around with our own place. The money allocated might not be that much anyway. If we peel it off layer by layer, we won't have much left. The two discussed how much money they could allocate this time. How much money could County Magistrate Chang put here and what would happen to the river? They went to the kitchen one after another. There were already people taking out the bone marrow of a few bones and putting it on a plate for the two little ancestors to eat. Since the ox had fallen to its death, they immediately sent someone to check on it. Chi Li and Senior Feng came together. When they saw the yamen runners and the ox, they were sure that the ox had indeed fallen to its death. One of them took 2 catties of beef from the farm and left happily. When the bailiff left, he also took the ox head and half a fan of beef. When he returned, he could cook some beef soup to drink. Knowing that his wife was pregnant, he also gave him half a hoof of ox tendon. He told him to take it back to eat. When he felt disgusted, he would feel better after chewing. The bailiff's eyes were red when he received the items. Before he left a message saying that if there was any trouble, he would bring his brothers over to help. In the future, if the cow fell to its death, he would come over to prove it. Even if he accidentally fell on his neck with a knife, it would still count. The rest of the meat was taken back to the main courtyard and sent to the Wang family. The people in the inner courtyard had a meal of beef stewed with radishes. There wasn't much meat, but there was enough radishes. The beef bones were kept by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The rest of the meat was frozen and occasionally cooked for the family. Young master, do you think this bone marrow is enough? When the people in the kitchen saw that the two little ancestors had come, they put away all the knives and watched the stove. A person in charge of the kitchen brought a plate to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and asked respectfully. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the plate. There were 6 strips of bone marrow of different lengths and thicknesses. He nodded and said, "Well, okay, it's enough. It's enough for Cuckoo and me. It's just cooked, right? Make more, steam it in the pot, mix it with the stock, add less salt, some chopped green onions and coriander, and send it to my family and the main house of the Wang family. Oh, remember not to add coriander in one bowl. My grandma doesn't like it. Cut some ginger foam. Grandma likes to eat that." The person in charge of the kitchen immediately went to arrange it. At the same time he sighed. His grandson was 2 years old, but he always pestered the family for this and that. He had never said that he would let the family taste what he wanted. Looking at the young master and the young lady, they would think of the family when they had something good. They even remembered the old lady's favorite food. They couldn't compare with them. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ate the bone marrow at noon and took a nap, Zhou Qiong had already arrived at the Qin family's village. He came back in a hurry. He was afraid that those people would find that he had left and it would take a lot of effort to explain. Following the yamen runners waiting outside the mountain, when they entered the village, County Magistrate Cheng immediately greeted them. He arranged a place to rest and asked someone to send food. The officials who were still working here were all exhausted. There was no part of their bodies that didn't ache. They weren't picky when they were eating last night. They ate whatever was given to them. When they slept last night, they were scattered among their families. Until now, they still didn't know that there was one less person working here. The 2 assistant ministers were very relaxed. They wandered around together and occasionally gave advice to the villagers on what to plant. Especially the assistant minister of the Ministry of Works. He helped the villagers draw a picture of a tub and asked them to follow it. In the future, it would be more convenient to get water from the tub. Naturally, the food they ate was better. At noon today, they actually ate 2 meat dishes, 1 vegetable dish, and a bowl of soup. They hadn't seen the army from the prefecture for more than a day. They even asked, but the answer they got was that they were assigned to other things. When Zhou Qiong came back this time, he first talked to County Magistrate Cheng. The yamen runners were not in a hurry to show up. They let the officials do more work and tire themselves out so that it would save them some trouble. The yamen runners understood that the officials were tired after walking for such a long time. If they had a good rest the next day, they might recover a lot. However, after working for another day, they would definitely be sore and painful. If they worked for a few more days, they might get used to it. However, if they worked for another day and walked back the next day, the feeling was obvious. At that time, they could only be fed by others and couldn't even lift their arms. Lord Zhou, have you finished your discussion this time? County Magistrate Tang asked Zhou Qiong to sit down. He poured the warm wine and pushed the wine bowl in front of Zhou Qiong. Yes, there are two small things. One is about Xiaohu's business. I don't care about this, Xiaohu just has to do it. The other is that they want to build a restaurant on the river. When there is no water, we can go and take a look and help out. For the last thing, I need County Magistrate Cheng's help. Zhou Qiong was indeed tired and thirsty. After saying these words, he raised the bowl and drank it. He let out a long breath and felt comfortable. County Magistrate Cheng helped to pour the wine again and asked, "What do you want me to help with? Is it about the disaster this year? This is a small matter. Our county is indeed suffering. It's not about this. I want you to go with them in summer or autumn. Maybe to the east of Taihang Mountain or to the south of Hunan. The drought in those two places is worse than here. There may also be a locust plague. Zhangjia Zhuangzi has prepared a lot of food and some chickens and ducks are waiting to be sent to eat the locusts. In this way, the Baihu's food will be saved. When the time comes, you will get a medal and so will I. You have won a lot of praise for the two auspicious signs, the curved plow, and your actions during the new year. However, it's still not enough to arrange a good position. If you go with them this time, your political achievements will be enough. Maybe you will get a higher rank than me." Zhou Qiong said enviously. Now he was helping County Magistrate Cheng. When the time came, Zhangjia Zhuangzi's people would also help him. In fact, they had done him a big favor last night. It turned out that the position of Prime Minister was changed. If it was someone else who said this, he would not believe it. However, he had to remember this in his heart when he saw what the two masters had done. County Magistrate Cheng understood as soon as he heard this. So this was the plan of the other side. No wonder they asked him to help delay until the summer and autumn season. This was a great contribution. No matter who took out the grain, as long as it was in Sanshui County and he could show up, he would be counted in. Thank you for telling me, Mr. Zhou. I wonder who will be sent to take care of this matter this time. At that time, if I can say a few words, my side will be more secure. I wonder what those two experts look like. County Magistrate Cheng was envious of Zhou Qiong now. It was an opportunity for him to meet the two masters. Zhou Qiong shook his head helplessly. I don't see them either. The two masters are really good. Before I said I wanted to meet them, they had already sent someone to solve my doubts during the meal. They are really good at predicting. I can't tell you more. Just remember, during summer and autumn, don't get too close to the right prime minister. Just be a good official. So, that Yao is going to retire. County Magistrate Cheng was shocked. He could not understand. Now that the person could still be trusted by the higher-ups, why would he come down? He had doubts in his heart. Suddenly, he remembered that the two masters of Zhangjia Zhuangzi did not tell him. They told Zhou Qiong and had nothing to do with him. In this case, they felt that his position was too low and there was no need for him to know about this matter. Maybe it was really like this, so he had to be careful. When County Magistrate Cheng wanted to ask some more questions, he found that Zhou Qiong had already started eating. He had to suppress the doubts in his heart and planned to find a way to ask when he accompanied the disaster relief. The two chatted for a while. After the meal, Zhou Qiong directly lay down to rest. County Magistrate Cheng sensibly left. When it was almost night time, he found Village Chief Qin and whispered a few words in his ear. The officials who had worked for 2 days dragged their tired bodies back to eat when they were called together. Suddenly, they found that the food on the table had changed. It was no longer the rice balls that were hard to swallow, but a small vegetable box. No wonder it smelled so good just now. There were also more dishes. The bitter and astringent pickles were gone and replaced with 3 dishes. Mushroom fried meat, egg fried with shallots, steamed radish dipped in sauce, and a bowl of wild vegetable soup with a lot of oil floating on it. This was not a bitter wild vegetable, but a cat's ear, also known as qingming grass. The soup made by the small vegetable box and the cat's ear was very fresh and tender. All the officials sat there but did not dare to move their chopsticks. They were afraid that these people did not have good intentions. At this time, a yamen runner appeared in front of everyone and explained, "Lords, I'm back. Tomorrow morning, you don't have to work and can enjoy the beauty of the mountains and rivers here. Last time, I promised that as long as a place entered the top 5 on the classification list, I would add 4 more chapters. Today I reached the top 5, so I would add 4 more chapters. Thank you. To be honest, I have not missed a single day." Chapter 108. When the officials saw the bailiff and heard his words, they were so moved that they almost cried. It was not easy. They finally got through it. When they looked at the food in front of them, they felt that this food should be in heaven and not in the mortal world. When they took a bite, it was so delicious. Some of the officials were so moved by the spicy taste of the vegetables that they cried. They looked at the bailiff who was waiting for orders. It was as if they had seen their parents. The bailiff saw that everyone's expressions were a little strange and their emotions were not so stable. He had no choice but to ask again, "My lords, what should we do tomorrow? Should we go on a boat or enjoy the scenery? I just want to ask, can we go back?" An official ate 2 boxes of vegetables in a row and choked while speaking. He hurriedly drank a mouthful of soup and stood there with his neck straightened. After a while, he let out a long breath and looked at the bailiff, eagerly waiting for a reply. "What? Go back?" "Little brother, don't worry. When we go back, oh no, we will pay for the meal this time. 10 taels of silver per person, no, 20 taels of silver. Little brother, you have worked hard, so naturally you will not be left out." When another person heard the bailiff's question, he opened his mouth and said a lot of words. He was really afraid. If he stayed any longer, he might lose his life in the village. "That's not necessary. What I mean is that you really don't want to have fun here. Under the night sky, the crescent moon is in the sky, the water is clear, and the breeze is gentle. My lords, please take your time and think of more interesting things." The bailiff did not expect that his words would cause such a big reaction. All the officials put down their chopsticks and listened attentively. "Thank you, little brother, for your kindness. Let's wait for the others to come. We have to go back and see the disaster situation in the county. The people's affairs are more important." The official who spoke at the beginning continued. He was really scared. How could he think of interesting things? In this place, the first thing that came to mind was how he carried the water. Not to mention the water in the buckets. The wooden buckets were not light at all. He quickly found an excuse and said that he wanted to go back to the county to check on the situation. In fact, he wanted to hide as far away as possible and never come back to this place in his next life. The bailiff was still hesitating. The official who said that he would pay also took over and said, "This meal costs 30 taels of silver. When the time comes, all the brothers in the county will each pay 5 taels of silver. I will pay when I get back." With him taking the lead, the other officials also understood that the money was too little. One by one they followed suit. Some even wanted to write down a written agreement on the spot. As a result, County Magistrate Tang was alarmed. He came here with the 2 assistant ministers. When he heard that the officials were willing to spend more money to pay for the meal, he smiled and said, "Your Excellencies, I know that you are not only willing to pay for a few meals, but also to help Sanshui County survive the drought. This time I thank you on behalf of the people of Sanshui County." With these words and the presence of the 2 assistant ministers, the officials did not dare to go back on their words. As long as County Magistrate Tang wrote a memorial, It would not be as simple as breaking the rules and coming out to play. One by one, they calculated how much money they would have to pay. They did not know, but they regretted it once they calculated, especially the one who spoke first. At this time, he was being stared at by the others. It was fine to pay 30 taels of silver for the meal. After all, it was already in their stomachs. But what about 5 taels of silver for each bailiff? How many bailiffs were there in Sanshui County? With the presence of the 2 superiors, these officials could only agree once more. Then they began to eat the food on the table with all their might, hating that they could not eat all the money back. They also drank bowl after bowl of soup. County Magistrate Cheng did not disturb them. He turned around and left to eat his own food. His food was better, especially the small root vegetable box. Other people's boxes might contain some garlic, but his was full of tender small root vegetables. Some villagers even specially marinated some good small root vegetables with salt. When eaten, it could be said to be fresh and delicious. While these people were eating, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were also eating. They seemed to have thought of the same thing. They also made a small root vegetable box and cat ear soup. The only difference was that other people's small root vegetable box only had small root vegetables and eggs, but Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had shrimp meat in their soup. 3-inch-long prawns were used in some restaurants to cook whole prawns. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had the prawns chopped up and wrapped in a box. The small root cabbage also needed to be soaked in water for a while so that it wouldn't be as spicy. Picking out the tender small root cabbage wouldn't cause any irritation. Delicious, really delicious. The small root vegetables and cat ear soup taste so good together, especially the spicy taste of the small root vegetables in the mouth. When you drink a mouthful of the soup, the cat ears are actually really fluffy. When you eat it, there is an earthy taste in the mouth and a little numb in the tongue. I have never eaten it before. Wang Wan took a bite of the small box specially made for her and Zhang Xiaobao. After drinking a mouthful of soup, she squinted her long eyelashes and said happily, "Yes, I always ate it when I was young." There were rivers and mountains behind the orphanage. Grandpa took me there to dig for cat ears and pick small root vegetables. We could also meet the mountain red in the mountains. When we came back, we would cook it. Usually it was made into boxes. There were less white flour and more corn flour. Then we would drink cat ear soup. Every time I ate it, I felt the happiest time. That time we were poor. Few people gave us money. When they came, they would only give us some fruit. My brothers, and sisters had to wear clothes. We thought that only the poor would eat it. Later, when we grew up, we found that it was actually more expensive than normal food. Don't you think it's funny? When I finally went there, I heard that a kilogram of tender small root vegetables cost 14 yuan, and meat was only 9 yuan. At that time, if someone was willing to exchange, we were willing to exchange a kilogram of small root vegetables for a kilogram of meat. Have you seen my picture when I was young? Even a skinny monkey would grin when he saw it. Eat it. What you eat is not that kind. There are also shrimps in it. Them all. Don't waste them. Later on, when I was rich, I didn't care if the food was more expensive, but I never threw anything. Zhang Xiaobao took a bite of the box and whimpered. His face was full of nostalgia. Wang Wan didn't know if she should be envious or sad. She drank a mouthful of soup and said, "Then why don't you go to the river to catch fish and shrimps? The children here know how to do that." Who said that we didn't catch enough? We caught them and sold them for money. The things in the river were not valuable. The shrimps were only an inch long, and the fish were only 2 or 3 inches long. Grandpa Dean couldn't sell them for much. Later on, it was polluted by the starch factory. Even those things couldn't be obtained. Everyone went to the mountains to dig for dandelions, which are considered a kind of medicinal material. There were also various kinds of wormwood, all of which were edible. There was also a plant known as the windbreak plant, which was sold well. It was especially useful for treating allergies, and it was faster than any medicine. As long as the water was boiled, the pimples on the body would disappear in less than a minute after rubbing them with the water. At that time, the older children did most of the work. I was still young, so I followed behind and helped to search for things. When I was 5 years old, a 9-year-old brother was bitten by a snake because he went to the mountains to dig for things. We called the snake turf. It wasn't very poisonous. It would definitely not destroy the blood molecules in a few minutes or even seconds. Grandpa Dean carried him out to get the serum. At that time, the serum was not expensive. The hospital was developing well. Not to mention 1 bite, even 10 bites would be enough. As long as he was sent to the hospital for the injection, he would be fine. Moreover, the treatment of the children in the orphanage was not that expensive. They could even give the treatment for free. But at that time, there was a medical official from the province. Grandpa was stopped outside. No matter what, he was not allowed to enter. The official was going to inspect the hospital for 3 days. Grandpa had no choice. He wanted to go to another city, but they would not care about the orphans here. In the end, he got some black powder and pasted it on the brother's leg. 2 days later, the leg was swollen to the size of his waist. When the official left, it was too late to go to the hospital. After a week he died. Zhang Xiaobao seemed to be talking about something that had nothing to do with him. He still had a happy expression on his face when he was eating. As he spoke, he picked out some prawn meat and put it on the plate in front of Wang Wan. Wang Wan did not eat at all. She was stunned for a while. She looked at Zhang Xiaobao and said, "So you didn't take revenge? I think you are the most important person in this aspect." "Comrade Wang Wan, you are wrong. Why would I take revenge? If someone made a mistake, there would naturally be the law to solve it. You can't knowingly break the law. That's unacceptable. I'm not a vengeful person. I'm a good person. It's God's doing." That official and the 26 related people were accidentally bitten by a snake. They were bitten by a snake called the taipan snake. Why do you think it is so unbelievable? That snake does not exist in Asia. It lives in desert areas and usually does not take the initiative to attack people. Do you think it is a tourist? Otherwise, it could have been smuggled by someone. It is very possible. Didn't that person know that he only had a few minutes to react after being bitten by this snake? Those people died so miserably. Their blood was coagulated. This is really God's blessing. Good will be rewarded. Evil will be punished. Do more good things. Zhang Xiaobao looked like he was bemoaning the state of the universe and pitying the fate of mankind. He picked up a slightly older cat ear from Wang Wan's soup bowl. The July 12th tragedy. A hospital's director, deputy director, and a high-ranking official were all bitten to death by the taipan snake. Before they died, they knew that the snake was poisonous and called for help. When they died, they had a hopeless look on their faces. No clues could be found. So it was all done by you. Just because a child died in the orphanage. Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao and felt a little scared. It was not me. You don't have any evidence to prove that their idea was bad, really. Chapter 109. Wang Wan listened to Zhang Xiaobao's nonchalant explanation and didn't know what to say. She still remembered that because this case was too big, it was finally handed over to them. There were 26 people, 26 lives. They didn't even know who killed them when they died. Each and every one of them used their last moments to reveal their possible opponents. As a result, following the clues, they cleaned up quite a number of corrupt officials, but none of them admitted that they were the ones who released the snakes. Zhang Xiaobao, you're really something. Xiaobao, don't always pick up prawns for me. If I want to eat prawns, I can just eat them directly. Why eat the ones in the box? Tell me, how much money did you spend on this? As far as I know, the price of the snake isn't cheap. It had to be transported from so far away. And it wasn't just one. Many died on the way, right? Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao with a smile. Seeing that Zhang Xiaobao still had that blank look in his eyes, she said, "Anyway, no one can hold you accountable now that you've admitted it. What are you afraid of?" "I'm afraid." "What am I afraid of?" "Those people should be afraid. Even God can't stand their way of doing things. I'm guessing that the snake knew about this situation and crawled over by itself. It's not easy to climb over mountains just to bite people. The first step was to investigate and find out where these people often go. For example, that high-ranking official of high-ranking officials often goes to some underground entertainment venue. How much effort do you think the snake had to put in? That guy didn't forget to bring along guards when he was looking for the top courtesan. He had to hide, right? He also had to discuss the time with others of the same kind to take action together. It's not easy. Zhang Xiaobao frowned and pursed his lips. He used words to paint a picture for Wang Wan. Fine, Zhang Xiaobao, you're good. You're so stubborn. It's a pity that we don't have a lie detector. Otherwise, we'll definitely expose your past. Wang Wan didn't care how many things Zhang Xiaobao had done in the past. She just wanted to get the truth from Zhang Xiaobao's mouth. Unfortunately, this bad guy Zhang Xiaobao still wouldn't tell her the truth. His mouth was full of lies. Zhang Xiaobao smiled at Wang Wan and took another bite of the vegetable box. Yes, if you have a lie detector, you should let me use it. I'll let you know what it means to be mentally strong. Let me tell you something. Person killed someone. He was afraid of being caught and sent to the lie detector, so he looked at himself in the mirror and kept saying, I didn't kill anyone, you didn't kill anyone, I didn't kill anyone. Guess what happened in the end? What's wrong? Wang Wan asked. In the end, when all the evidence pointed to him, he saw the corpse and the evidence. He stared blankly at the investigator standing in front of him and said, Who is this dead person? Did I kill him? I didn't kill anyone. Did you make a mistake? In the end, all the data on his body on the lie detector showed that he wasn't lying. In the end, the doctor determined that he was in an unconscious state when he killed the person. Zhang Xiaobao picked up a piece of beef and put it in his mouth. He chewed vigorously as he spoke to Wang Wan. After Wang Wan heard this, she was stunned and didn't know what to say. It was indeed as Zhang Xiaobao said. When a person hypnotized themselves, they wouldn't be able to get any information from their physiological reactions unless they knew their psychological weakness. These people weren't scary. As long as you wanted to find their psychological weakness, you would definitely be able to find it. After all, he used hypnosis. The truly scary ones were people like Zhang Xiaobao. He understood people's psychological activities and physical reactions. He could hypnotize himself at any time and make his body synchronize. Not to mention anything else, when she wanted to rest and enter deep sleep together with him. She had tried it before. The fastest she could do was 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but Zhang Xiaobao, who was lying next to her, only needed 26 seconds to complete it. He was hypnotizing himself. If he could use some tools, hypnotizing others seemed to be the same speed. Thinking of this, Wang Wan felt that since she already knew the truth, she didn't care if he admitted it personally, so she said, Can you teach me this method of yours? I don't want to fall asleep so quickly. Can't be taught. When I first learned it, I needed 5 minutes. Later on, I experienced so many things that I didn't care about honor and disgrace anymore. That's why I was able to shorten the time bit by bit. Every time I suffered a loss, every time I failed, and every time I was humiliated, I found that nothing could sway me. This is a kind of self-adjustment psychology. If you suffer a big loss when you're not 20 years old, then you can live to 30 years old. You have 10 years to adjust. If I suffer a loss when I'm 50 years old and can live to 100 years old, then I have 50 years to adjust. Why do you think that you will lose your life tomorrow when you suffer a loss today? At that time, you will find that honor and disgrace aren't so important. Existence is the only thing. Then go to sleep. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he picked up a box with his chopsticks and stared at it. This made Wang Wan also look at it. When Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, Wang Wan yawned, shook her head, and reached out to pinch Zhang Xiaobao. Little guy, who do you think you are? You dare to hypnotize me. What are you thinking? Do you think I'm a free spirit? I'll let you scheme against me. I'll let you scheme against me. I'll strangle you to death. I miscalculated. I forgot the most important point of hypnosis. Don't use it on people who have strong beliefs in their hearts. Yes, you are a qualified warrior, Ba Wang Flower. Using this method in front of you is a kind of blasphemy, just like using a lie detector to deal with me. Zhang Xiaobao endured the pain of being pinched and pretended not to care. He directly put a box into his mouth and bit it hard. Speak, why are you playing tricks on me? Wang Wan said angrily. Just a practice. If I said that I wanted to take advantage of you, would you believe me? Zhang Xiaobao replied truthfully. He really did think that way, and he didn't have any malicious intentions. What are you thinking? Humph, I want to see if you can sleep at night. Be careful, the ground is too hard. You might break it if you fall. Wang Wan put on a straight face, and her hands were still moving in circles. However, Zhang Xiaobao could endure it, and he didn't move like a mountain. You're scaring me. Separate, I want to separate. At night, I'll ask Pomegranate to tie me to the mat, the kind that is 1 inch thick. I have to bite it continuously. Zhang Xiaobao was really afraid of being tricked. This kind of threat was the most effective. Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao and suddenly laughed. She pushed the soup in front of him. To your food. Don't think that you're the most powerful person in the world. Some people can't be controlled by you. I'll let you feel frustration and failure again. It's good for your growth. You have to thank me. Thank you. Zhang Xiaobao put his head into the soup bowl and said in a muffled voice. The night was quiet. When others were sleeping, the officials in the Qin family's village couldn't stand the long night. That night, they found County Magistrate Cheng and asked to leave. After County Magistrate Cheng failed to persuade them several times, he had to follow their request. He led them to hurry on with the journey at night. It was better than when they came because there were torches to light. County Magistrate Cheng still chose the way he came. No matter what, he couldn't let people know that there was another way to get out of here faster. Otherwise it would be troublesome. These people would hate him to death, even if he explained that he didn't know at that time. A group of people walked in the mountains with torches. At this time, there was no sound of the flute. Only the occasional chirping of some night owls came from the woods, which made people's hair stand on end. Even so, the group didn't stop. They were still moving. These officials were determined to leave this sad place as soon as possible. As for revenge, they also thought about it. However, they saw that there were only a few people in the village. If they were found out, they didn't dare to think about the consequences, especially when they had to avoid County Magistrate Cheng. Officials, are you tired? Take a rest and then we'll continue. County Magistrate Cheng felt that these officials were a little different from ordinary people when they were hurrying. Each of them had a fierce expression, which made him a little worried. He was afraid that they would be tired. These officials heard County Magistrate Cheng's words, but none of them said a word. They were all holding their breath and wanted to leave as soon as possible. They were panting heavily and their eyes were wide open as they hurried on with their journey. After walking for a while, County Magistrate Cheng really had no choice but to stop them. These officials could walk forward with a strong momentum, but the 2 assistant ministers couldn't. The assistant ministers had a good rest these 2 days and didn't suffer so much. My lord, please slow down. The assistant ministers are still behind us. These officials who were walking with a strong momentum had to stop when they heard County Magistrate Cheng's words. They were also afraid that something would happen to the 2 assistant ministers behind them. If that happened, they wouldn't be able to escape just by suffering a little now. One by one, they stopped and waited for the 2 assistant ministers behind them, accompanied by yamen runners. When they were walking just now, they had forgotten that they were tired. Now that they stopped, they suddenly felt that there was no place that didn't feel uncomfortable. The fatigue that they had been feeling for the past few days finally broke out at this moment. When the night wind blew, people's minds were a little dazed when they were awake. County Magistrate Cheng hurriedly asked people to get some dry wood to burn. He brought food and water to everyone and arranged them to the side of the fire so that they wouldn't catch a cold. Otherwise they might fall sick directly here. In fact, County Magistrate Cheng knew that even with this arrangement, many people who could make it to the foot of the mountain would fall sick. At that time they would have to find a doctor to treat them. At most they would just catch a cold. These people's bodies were not bad and they wouldn't die when the time came. Just as County Magistrate Tang had guessed, when they reached the foot of the mountain and saw the carriages that came to welcome them, a few of them fell down immediately. They were carried to the carriages and called for a doctor to treat them. When they returned to the yamen, they would need to rest for some time. Chapter 110. In the middle of the night, County Magistrate Tang settled everyone down and finally let out a sigh of relief. Now he didn't have to worry about anyone causing trouble. When the two assistant ministers came this time, they said that they wanted to check something, but they were very honest. They didn't say much and didn't ask much. When they arranged for the officials to rest at night, the two assistant ministers told them not to worry and to take things slowly in the county. They already knew some things. There was indeed a drought, especially the assistant minister of the Ministry of Works. He even said that when they returned to the capital, he would submit a report and ask for more money. With the two assistant ministers' words, County Magistrate Tang took a hot bath and fell asleep under the massage of the servants. He had to maintain an energetic appearance every day, especially tomorrow morning. He heard from Zhou Qiong that Zhongjia Zhuangzi would send someone to give him 1,500 taels of silver. However, these taels of silver were not given for free. Otherwise, it would be embarrassing for the county magistrate. As an official of the imperial court, he actually needed the charity of a Zhuangzi. If word got out, people would not trust him as an official. Therefore, the other side also said that they would use the money to buy a piece of land, the land beside the little Luoshui River. If it was another piece of land, County Magistrate Tang would think about whether Zhongjia Zhuangzi was deliberately taking advantage of this situation to take advantage of him. However, he couldn't say anything about that piece of land. The other party had already said that they wanted the North Bank. What did the North Bank have? As a county magistrate, he naturally knew that it was just a broken mountain. It took up a lot of land, but it couldn't grow anything. There were only a few trees. If that mountain was worth 1,500 taels of silver, wouldn't the other pieces of land be worth dozens of times more? He had to deal with this matter personally. First, he had to spread the news to the people that Zhongjia Zhuangzi was buying the mountain. He had to let the people know that there was a Zhuangzi who was willing to make a loss. Second, he had to wait for the yamen to take out the money to let the people know that the yamen didn't take their money and didn't arbitrarily collect taxes from the people. The next morning, County Magistrate Tang woke up. Before he could ask, a servant said to him, "Master, only 2 of those officials can still get up. The others are all sick. Last night we sent someone to check on them. They said that they are fine and will recover after a few days of rest. Master, do you want to go check on them? Are they really fine? Alright, let them take care of them. As for the remaining 2, don't worry about them. Even if they are not sick, they won't be able to cause trouble for the time being. Of course, we have to check on them. Go and prepare some light food. Oh, also prepare some wood ears. These people are all ancestors. Every one of them has to take out a few hundred taels of silver. It's worth it to eat good food and drink." When County Magistrate Tang thought of what these people had said, he became happy. This was good. With Zhongjia Zhuangzi's support and 1,500 taels of silver, even if they bought some wood ears from Zhongjia Zhuangzi when they left, they would still be able to make a lot of money. The rest of the money would be used to suppress the price of food due to the drought, especially those merchants who had bad intentions. No matter what, they couldn't be allowed to raise the price of food. Otherwise, the people would go hungry. After freshening up and eating some breakfast, County Magistrate Tang asked people to carry light food to the places where the officials were. Those who were sick were told to rest well. Those who were not sick could only force themselves to get up. Their bodies were sore and painful. After being served and washed up, they didn't even have the strength to eat. When County Magistrate Tang came over with the food, the 2 of them were talking about this matter. They had suffered a lot. After exchanging a few words with County Magistrate Tang and waiting for him to leave, the 2 of them sat at the table. Whenever someone fed them, they would take a bite. The two of them were not carrying water. They were helping to clear the wasteland. They swung the pickaxe one after another. Now, both of their arms were thicker than usual. They hung there, and the slightest movement would make them suck in a breath of cold air. If it were someone who exercised regularly, they would tell them that this was called exhilaration. After arranging these things, County Magistrate Cheng began to wait for the people from Zhangjiazhuangzi to come. At the same time, he asked people to keep writing notices to let the people in the county know about this matter. As for those who couldn't read, he wasn't worried. Naturally, there would be people who were willing to show that they could read. Before the people from Zhangjiazhuangzi came, most of the people in the county knew about this matter. Some people said that Zhangjiazhuangzi was stupid, while others said that Zhangjiazhuangzi was benevolent. In any case, no one said that Zhangjiazhuangzi could make money by buying that mountain. It was already good enough that he didn't lose money. At 9:15, Erniu, who was on Zhangjiazhuangzi, finally arrived. He came by himself. He put 1,500 taels of silver behind him. Not only were they all silver, there were also copper coins and cloth. Altogether they filled up 2 carriages. If it was only silver, a few boxes would be enough. Without the money, County Magistrate Cheng naturally wouldn't lead Erniu to the place immediately. He first arranged for Erniu to rest. Even though Erniu was a servant, County Magistrate Cheng still maintained the proper respect. Erniu, this official remembers that you did a lot of things for Zhangjiazhuangzi, right? County Magistrate Cheng arranged for Erniu to eat at the place where he was going to let him eat something. Since he came so early, he must have not eaten breakfast. At the same time, he also casually chatted with him. In reply to your question, in fact, I didn't do much. I just listened to the master. Whatever the master asked me to do, I just did it. Your Excellency, you don't need to prepare the food. I have brought it. Look, it's all in the bag. Erniu was usually quite clever. When he saw the place where he was, he knew what the county magistrate had arranged. As he spoke, he put the bag on his back on the table and quickly opened it. There were some bamboo tubes inside. Oh, you even brought things here. Coming out from home, you must have spent a lot of time preparing these things, right? County Magistrate Cheng pretended to be curious and asked. In fact, he was not happy in his heart. How long did it take to prepare these things? If he didn't prepare them, wouldn't he have come long ago? Of course, Erniu understood the hidden meaning in County Magistrate Cheng's words. He smiled and explained, Your Excellency, you are wrong this time. These things I brought were not prepared at home. They were prepared by the master. I got up early and rushed here with these things. I didn't stop to rest at all. As he spoke, he opened the things one by one. There was a big bamboo tube with tofu pudding in it. He loved to eat this, so this was what was prepared for him. There were several smaller bamboo tubes with chives and slices of sliced beef. The smallest bamboo tube had garlic sauce in it. There was a torn oil paper bag next to it. There were 3 big white steamed buns, a pair of bamboo chopsticks, and a copper spoon. These things were his breakfast and utensils. He poured the steaming braised food into the tofu pudding, stirred it with a spoon, and put in some chives. It was ready to eat. Your Excellency, I am indeed hungry. I will eat first, Erniu said to County Magistrate Cheng apologetically and began to eat. County Magistrate Cheng was dumbfounded. There was sliced beef and garlic sauce. There were mushrooms, diced meat, wood ears, coriander, and plumeria in the braised food. Not to mention other things, this braised food could be exchanged for hundreds of bowls of tofu pudding. Looking at Erniu eating happily, County Magistrate Cheng swallowed his saliva and asked, Why is the master so good to you? Do you usually eat this? No, the food I usually eat is not very good, but not by much. I'm going out for business. Your Excellency said that it is easy to stay at home, but difficult to go out. Poor family needs to be blessed. How can the food outside be better than the food at home? So he brought it to me so that I can eat better outside. Erniu took a spoonful of tofu pudding, swallowed it, and replied to County Magistrate Cheng with a simple and honest smile on his face. However, County Magistrate Cheng did not smile at all. How could the master be so considerate to a servant? Erniu's words were not said by the master to a servant. It was clearly instructed by the parents when their children were going on a long trip. If anyone wanted to bribe such a servant, there was no need to consider. Not to mention Erniu, if he were in Erniu's position, he would also protect the master wholeheartedly. Is it delicious? County Magistrate Cheng was lost in thought. When he asked about the fragrance of the braised food and the bean smell of the tofu pudding, he could not help but ask. It's delicious. You may not know, but the food made by our master is delicious. Look at the sliced beef. It is not cooked directly in the pot. That way the meat will be hard. Look at this, it is soft. When cooking you have to add some other things, which are the things that are used in the dough. Yes, it is a secret recipe. Add that thing together and cook it. After cooking it will become like this. The garlic sauce is also different. Other garlic sauces are made by crushing the garlic and adding the soy sauce. Here you have to cut the garlic into foam and soak it in the soy sauce for a few days before taking it out. It is not so spicy and has a special taste. If you don't believe me, you can try it. As Erniu spoke, he saw that he had not eaten many slices of the sliced beef and pushed it in front of County Magistrate Cheng. He also pushed the garlic sauce over. County Magistrate Cheng looked at the food and struggled to decide whether to eat it or not. If he ate it, he was afraid that he would lose face. If he did not eat it, he would be tempted by Erniu's words. In the end, he persuaded himself that these were his master's food. As a disciple, it was not a big deal to eat some. With this thought, County Magistrate Cheng finally put down his pride. He directly picked up a slice of beef and dipped it in the garlic sauce. He put it into his mouth and tasted it carefully. Good, it is indeed extraordinary. Master is indeed capable. Erniu, have you thought about your master's decision to buy that mountain this time? Don't you think it will be a loss? If it doesn't work out, I will change the place. Change? No, sir, you can't change it. When we came here, our master said that he wanted that mountain. Don't tell me you are going back on your words. When Erniu heard this, he put down his chopsticks and replied firmly. He did not know why the little young master wanted that mountain. He only knew that since the little young master wanted it, it was a good deal. Chapter 111. The sun hung in the sky and shone on the ground, taking away the remaining cold of spring. The green grass swayed back and forth against the flowers. Xiao Hong drove the big goose, Fluffy, and led a group of ducks and geese into the water to play. Sometimes they would find a few small fish that they brought into the pond and compete with each other to eat. Every time a flock of geese flew over her head, she would raise her head and call out twice. The oval-shaped leaves of the locust tree rustled with the wind. The strings of small green beans hanging down from the branches seemed to be about to stretch out and bloom into small white flowers. The children on Zhuangzi all came outside to cut the grass that they were going to feed the livestock. They eagerly looked at the locust tree flowers that were about to bloom so that they could pick some to eat. The sweet locust tree flowers had a special taste, or they could go home and cook locust tree flowers for their masters to brew wine. The taste was a little worse than the elm tree flowers, but there were too many insects on the elm tree flowers, so the locust tree flowers couldn't be eaten too much. When they played together, the older children had to look after the younger children and find fun places to play. Under the lead of the older children, the younger children shouted and played, sprinkling the various places of Zhuangzi with laughter. After lunch, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan drank a little more bone soup. They lay side by side on the chairs in the small courtyard that belonged to the two of them, basking in the sun. The noon sun cast short shadows of the two chairs on the ground. Pomegranate sprayed water on the wood ears, leaving only the two of them to enjoy this leisurely time. The toads will come out soon, right? After lying down for a while with closed eyes, the blanket covering her navel slid down a little. Wang Wan pulled the blanket up and closed her eyes again. Yes, it seems that we need to block the bottom of the small river in front of the door and let water in. If the soil is too hard, the hibernating toads won't be able to climb out. This year, let the children not catch toads so early. It's best to let all the toads go into the pond and the paddy field. The pond is always left open to give the toads more places to hibernate. When summer comes, the toads can be the staple food every day. Zhang Xiaobao put his arms behind his head, raised his legs, and shook them as he made up his mind. You still have fish in the paddy field. When the time comes, the toad eggs and small tadpoles will be eaten. Wang Wan was a little worried. Yes, there will be fewer toads in the paddy field and more in the pond. Those toads that can survive in the paddy field are either lucky or strong. After hibernation, the next generation will be stronger. That's the only thing we can do. Let's raise a few dogs this year. It's best if we have a litter of them so that they can fight together. Wang Wan thought of the dogs again. When Zhang Xiaobao heard that she wanted to raise a dog, he shivered and disagreed. I don't like dogs. I have to take care of them. I have to put more energy into these things and less energy in other aspects. Why don't you raise them yourself? There is a sandstone field next to the vegetable field. You can make a nest there. There are leftovers in the yard that can be fed. Don't even think about giving my dogs leftovers. There is salt and other seasonings. I want to choose the dogs myself. When they are young, I will feed them some milk and porridge. When they grow up, I will feed them grain, raw meat and vegetables. I have so many chickens, I will feed them to the chicken rack. I will also train them myself. Wang Wan didn't care whether Zhang Xiaobao was willing to raise them with her or not. He was independent and couldn't be forced. It was fine as long as there was a place and food. Zhang Xiaobao opened his eyes and turned to look at Wang Wan. Are you going to raise a native dog like a police dog? Have you learned it? I have seen it and asked the breeder. I just need to copy it. It's just that I don't have enough experience. A dog that can't be raised well is a native dog. A dog that can't be raised well is a police dog. When the things in your family are settled, you can find me a good breed of dog. Can you get a Tibetan Mastiff? If there are few, then they will do. Wang Wan imagined a group of powerful dogs following her and being obedient in the future. She laughed. Zhang Xiaobao's mouth moved. He didn't know how to organize his words. After waiting for a while, he saw that Wang Wan was still fantasizing. He said, Is there anyone who uses a Tibetan Mastiff as a police dog? It was a group of Du Boans who chased after me, but What did you do? Wang Wan didn't fantasize this time and turned to question him. I got rid of them, but they still wanted to track me down. I used something stimulating so that they couldn't smell anything. You don't think that I killed them, do you? I fought such a group with my bare hands. There were many people with guns behind them. Do you think I am stupid? Zhang Xiaobao felt that Wang Wan, who cared about dogs, shouldn't think too highly of herself. Seeing that Wang Wan was relieved, he said, Ask someone who has a dog that can breed with wolves. I will buy it for you. Tibetan Mastiffs are not suitable. Who told you that Tibetan Mastiffs can't be police dogs? Are you ignorant? You need to find wolf dogs, but you also need to pay attention to Tibetan Mastiffs. Especially in winter, Tibetan Mastiffs can still be used here. Wang Wan curled her lips. Well, they can even get carrots from Tubo. Few dogs are nothing. When you really find them, don't feed them with my beef. Or, it just so happens that the piglets caught by the farmers have all grown up. Seeing that Wang Wan was so serious, Zhang Xiaobao had to compromise. Don't eat pork. If you don't have beef, eat mutton. Cooperate with me during training. For example, when the dogs are tied up and it's feeding time, you can beat the dogs and don't let them eat. I will come over and drive you away so that the dogs will trust me more. Wang Wan began to arrange things for Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao blinked a few times and said, If the dogs trust you, then what about me? In the yamen of Sanshui County, Erniu had already finished his meal. Most of the beef had been digested by County Magistrate Cheng. After resting for a while, County Magistrate Cheng took a group of people with great fanfare. Together with the money, cloth, and other things from the Zhang family, they all headed towards the little Luoshui River. The people here had already received the news, and all of them ran over to see what was going on. Some even waited in front of the yamen. As soon as they came out, they followed beside them. They wanted to see which idiot Zhang Zhuangzi was. They also wanted to count the money in the carriage to see if there was really 1,500 taels of silver. By the time County Magistrate Cheng and his entourage arrived, there were already quite a number of people surrounding them. In order to create a scene, County Magistrate Cheng prepared to take down the cloth, copper coins, and silver from the carriage in front of the commoners. He let the people count them and found that it was exactly 1,500 taels of silver. He then had people go to the other side of the river to measure. After a busy process, it took more than 2 hours. This was because there were many people to measure. The land on the other side of the river was 1,200 mu. He wrote the document, printed it, and waited for Erniu to take the document back. The owner of the house would write his name and put his fingerprint on it. This land would then belong to Zhang Zhuangzi, and he would not be able to take the money back. People were all watching. If the money was used to buy fertile land, there would be people who would think that County Magistrate Cheng was greedy. After all, the price was too cheap. However, to buy a barren mountain, everyone felt that there was something wrong with the people of Zhang Zhuangzi. Erniu did not care about the people's discussion. He took the document and immediately rushed back. He had the owner of the house put his fingerprint on it. Song Jinggong, who had been accompanying him, also started to move. He started to recruit people on the spot to start building the land on the other side of the river. Zijin, are you preparing to plant things over there? County Magistrate Cheng was puzzled when he saw Song Jinggong move so quickly. Sir, how can we plant things over there? This student is following Zhuangzi's instructions to build houses and docks over there. Zhuangzi took out 1,000 taels of silver for this student to use. Sir, look, there is a lot of soil and rocks on the mountain. It will save us a lot of money to build the docks and houses. At this time, there is a drought and the little Luoshui River has dried up. It will be more convenient for construction. We can find people to dig deeper and widen the river. The extra soil will be used on the river embankment. When the drought is over and the rainy season comes, the river will be wider and the water will be deeper. Some big boats will be able to sail in. The houses at the docks can be rented out as warehouses. The flat land at the foot of the mountain can be built into restaurants and other shops. We can also build the mountain road and build a few pavilions on the mountain. When the time comes, there will be transportation and there will be another place to drink and have fun. Looking at the boats coming and going from the top to the bottom of the river will give us a special feeling. Also, when the time comes, Zhuangzi will continue to fork out money to dig a smaller artificial lake over there. We can build rockery and pavilions in it to attract the water from the little Luoshui River. Boats can be used to travel between the lake and the river. At that time, the people on the mountain can personally come down and paddle the boats. Sir, what do you think of this? Song Jinggong did not hide anything at this time. He told County Magistrate Zhuangzi's arrangements. County Magistrate Cheng listened. At first, there was a smile on his face. When he heard the last part, the smile disappeared and was replaced by shock and annoyance. He was stunned and did not move. Song Jinggong had finished speaking, but he did not say anything. Sir, there is one more thing that I need your help with. Song Jinggong saw that County Magistrate Cheng was stunned and had to raise his voice. Something else. What else? Don't tell me you want to buy the land on this side of the river too. That won't do. This side of the river is a grain field. We need to grow crops. There is only half a mu of land between the river and here. We can't make a dock. County Magistrate Cheng had the same idea just now. Later he found that if he wanted to do the same, he would have to occupy the land. Then, someone would accuse him of not doing agriculture but only doing business. Destroying the land to open the trade route was a big sin. He thought that Song Jinggong would be so generous. Don't worry. Zhuangzi will not do such a thing. It's just that I see that the small bridge between the two sides of the river has been in disrepair for a long time. I want to spend money to repair it. I want to build a wider and stronger bridge for the convenience of pedestrians, Song Jinggong explained. Repair the bridge. For the convenience of pedestrians. Don't tell me you want to transport the goods from the other side of the river here. It's really convenient to repair the bridge. County Magistrate Ching immediately understood the key point. If the dock was placed on the other side, the goods would have to be transported over. Zhongjia Zhuangzi really did not want to suffer any losses. Sir, you are wise, Song Jinggong said with a smile. Chapter 112. Since he had bought the land, Song Jinggong did not waste any time. He immediately called for people to work on the other side of the river. They were all people who did not own farmland. The spring plowing was not over yet, and those who had land were busy. After Song Jinggong left, County Magistrate Cheng took the things back to the yamen with his men. As soon as he got back, he went to the study and looked outside through the gap of the open window. As he looked because of the sunlight, his eyes were tired and all he could see was the warm colors. Sir, there is another document from the next village. County Magistrate Cheng was in a daze for half an hour when the Deputy District Magistrate came from the front with a piece of paper in his hand. Xiang is here. Xiang, why didn't we think of expanding the little Luoshui while it's still dry? We can use the mud and stones on the mountain to build houses. When the time comes, the water will flow to the boats. 1,500 taels of silver to buy such a big piece of land. How much do you think it will cost to rent the warehouse a day? How much do you think you can earn by running the restaurant? How much do you think you can earn by renting it to others? How much do you think it will cost to buy goods at the docks and resell them? How much do you charge for stopping the boats? How much do you pay the workers at the docks a day? County Magistrate Cheng did not take the document from the Deputy District Magistrate Zhang Mingxing. Instead, he looked out of the window and asked. The Deputy District Magistrate also went with him today. He knew what the County Magistrate was thinking. If they built a docks there and operated according to Master Song's plan, they would be able to earn a lot of money. Because of the drought, the construction was faster and smoother and they could save a lot of money. They could use the local materials and save a lot of money. They might not even be able to spend 1,000 taels of silver. Everything would be solved. He had thought about this before. When Zhongjia Zhuangzi wanted to buy the land, countless people were waiting to watch the show. He also thought that he was losing money and was grateful to him. Now that he owed him a favor and the money was earned by him, he thought that Zhongjia Zhuangzi was making use of the drought to turn a poor place into a source of income. Sir, I also don't know how much Zhongjia Zhuangzi can earn. The more prosperous this place is, the more they can earn. There is a mountain of gold in front of us, but we can't see it. We can't take it back, right? The Deputy District Magistrate knew that the County Magistrate was unhappy, and was afraid that the County Magistrate would tear up the land deed and the document. Take it back. How would he dare? Even if he gave it away to another place, he wouldn't be able to take it back. This was good too. After all, doing business required paying taxes. During the summer, some laborers had nothing to do, so they went to help out at the docks. This way they could earn more. When the ships came in, they could save on the transportation fees. This river was connected to the Jingshui River, and from the Jingshui River, they could enter the Weishui River. It extended in all directions and was convenient to go anywhere. If this money was earned by someone else, I would feel heartache. But to give it to Zhongjia Zhuangzi, that is because he is capable. After all, he has taken out 1,500 taels of silver. Do you think there are other places in Sanshui County that can earn a lot of money? It's just that no one noticed. Of course, County Magistrate Cheng did not dare to go back on his words. Not to mention that he still wanted to be apprenticed to a master, even if there were no masters among the ordinary Zhuangzi there. He did not dare to deal with them easily. In the yamen, from the cleaners to the yamen runners, Zhang Jiazhuangzi had given a lot of benefits. Everyone knew that once he made a decision, the people he sent out would definitely report to Zhang Jiazhuangzi first. The deputy district magistrate also knew this and agreed. You are right. There is a docks there. In the future, when you are promoted, the people here can still get benefits. As long as you don't go too far away, you can come back by boat. You can also see the distance and enjoy the music on the boat. If Zhang Jiazhuangzi produces any good things, he can also get a boat to bring them to you. At this time we should focus on the drought. In summer or autumn, you can help Zhang Jiazhuangzi to deliver the grain. Then it won't be too late to ask. Even if you don't need it, the new district magistrate who replaces you can use it. Didn't we decide to send people to see if they are willing to do a good job? Otherwise, the deputy district magistrate did not finish his words. County Magistrate Chang also understood that he had enough benefits and left some for the next district magistrate. He was prepared to promote the next district magistrate. If the higher-ups did not promote him and insisted on sending someone, it would depend on whether that person was willing to do things for Sanshui County and whether he was obedient. Otherwise, if an outsider wanted to establish himself in Sanshui County, it would be a dream. Once the words were said, both of them were relieved. County Magistrate Cheng took the document and looked at it. It was a request for the district magistrate to get something to dig a well. This was simple, so he signed it and stamped it. Just as he sent someone to arrange this matter, Song Jinggong rushed over again. The matter over, there was going to be a preliminary arrangement. He found 2 people to lead the digging. He still had other things to discuss with the county magistrate. This time he was here to deliver benefits. Zijin, you are here. How are things going over there? With the docks and the place over there, Sanshui County will have a better life in the future. Don't forget to thank the people on Zhuangzi on behalf of this district when you go back. County Magistrate Cheng greeted him and asked someone to serve tea. Song Jinggong sat down and paused for a moment. He said, Sir, they have started working. I am here to ask for your help. Are you in trouble? Tell me. County Magistrate Cheng really did not understand why Song Jinggong wanted to find him. Thank you, sir. It is indeed a little difficult. We don't have enough manpower. Do you know which places in this district are so dry that they don't need so much labor? I am willing to pay to hire people. If there are women in the family who can support the house, you can also find them to help cook some food. Song Jinggong chose 2 kinds of people. This way, according to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, was to repay the society. In the future there would be other things to do like this. County Magistrate Cheng looked at Song Jinggong. After a while he said, This is not a problem. It is obviously to solve my problems. The more problems like this, the better. I will find someone to verify it immediately. When the time comes, I will send people to work for you. With more income they will feel better. Sir, you really love the people. When the mountain and some scenic places are finished, you can find something for the people in Sanshui County to do. Song Jinggong continued. What else? Do you want people to carry the poles up the mountain? That is fine. This was the only thing that County Magistrate Chung could think of. There were all kinds of places at the bottom of some mountains. There was no distinction between high and low. It was mainly for enjoyment. Song Jinggong shook his head. Sir, this is just a normal thing. What I want to say is to let some people in the county who know embroidery to embroider some things. When the time comes, some traveling scholars will write poems. These poems will be embroidered on a big handkerchief and be sold at the restaurant in Zhangjia Zhuangzi. The people there will also be sold here. They will be sold here for 5 days first and then be sold. In this way, the people who come here to play will have to go to Zhangjia Zhuangzi to see their poems. First, they want to see how much their works are worth. Second, they want to hear other people's comments. Good idea. Let the people of one place go to play in 2 places and bring their friends. Both sides can make a lot of money. At the same time, people in the county who rely on this can also earn a lot of money. But if someone writes a poem that is not good, Can we wait for him to buy it himself? Hearing Song Jinggong's idea, County Magistrate Cheng was so excited that he trembled. This business was calculated well. The two sides were so far away, but they could cooperate with each other. Not only could it let Zhongjia Zhuangzi earn a lot of money, but it could also help the people in the county to earn more money. If all the businessmen in the world could do this, how good would it be? Sir, you don't have to worry about the situation where no one wants to buy it. If no one wants to buy it, Zhuangzi will arrange for people to buy it. It is nothing more than paying the people in the county more money to make it. When the time comes, we will write down the names and addresses of the people who wrote the poems. During festivals, we will embroider it and send it over with a gift. Zhuangzi will specially find a place to put the things that are bought. Whether he comes to see it himself or becomes famous in the future, it will be a kind of income. Zhuangzi also said that the route from here to Zhuangzi will be fixed. The people who come to visit here will only take one road. Every once in a while, there will be a pavilion built for people to rest. Next to the pavilion, people who don't have a good life in the county can set up a stall. They can either sell tea or wine. It will also be more work. The pavilion will be built by the county. Seeing that the county magistrate was so happy, Song Jinggong directly told him his future plans. He believed that County Magistrate Cheng would be able to use them in the future. If he left, he would have to see how the next county magistrate would be. If he did not treat Zhongjia Zhuangzi well, he would definitely not give him this political achievement. County Magistrate Cheng could not say anything else. He could only nod and agree. When Song Jinggong left, he personally went to the gate of the yamen and walked in. He stood there and watched Song Jinggong's figure become smaller and smaller. When he could not see him anymore, he turned around and went back. As soon as he came back, he hurriedly found the deputy county magistrate and asked him to think of a way to save some money. He did not want to use it all at once so that he could use it for other purposes in the future. After thinking about it, he called the chief secretary, Zhao Xiang, and told him these things. The next county magistrate was going to promote the chief secretary. If he did not tell him and waited until Song Jinggong came, County Magistrate Cheng felt that he would misunderstand. When the chief secretary Zhao Xiang saw County Magistrate Cheng, his face was stiff. After hearing County Magistrate Cheng's words, he was also moved. If he did these things when he became the county magistrate, it would only take a year for Sanshui County's finance to double. At that time he would also be promoted. It would be time for Sanshui County to elect a new county magistrate. The deputy county magistrate, Zhang Mingxing, was also listening to them. He also thought that he would have a chance at that time. He was happy, but suddenly he became depressed and said, "At that time, Sanshui County will become a popular place. I guess many people will want to be the county magistrate here. What should I do? Xuyang, you can't just wait. Once Sanshui County becomes rich, it will not be as simple as just two auspicious signs like mine. That time you can ask them. Maybe there will be a new way." County Magistrate Cheng pointed in the direction of Zhongjia Zhuangzi. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.